Chapter 550. Lu Li's real body. At this moment, Yang Hanwu realized that his right hand was being controlled by the demon hand. Reaching out, he grabbed out a blood cocoon. A terrifying amount of blood chi gathered on his right hand. Grabbing at the void, it formed a gigantic blood claw and grabbed at the demon bone saber. The blood claw and the demon bone saber clashed. The demon bone saber cracked and emitted a crisp sound. The bloody claw had actually shattered the demon bone saber. What was even more frightening was that the power of the runes on the demon bone saber turned into a stream of energy that was grabbed by the blood claw and absorbed. How could this be? My demon bone saber devoured the power of the law runes on my demon bone saber? Impossible. The demon bone god's eyes were wide open. This was unbelievable and unbelievable. Even the great sages of the immortal demons couldn't do it. Even the great emperors couldn't do it. How could he? Who was the owner of this blood claw? How could it be so terrifying? There were only a handful of people in the 9 heavens and 10 earths who could do something like this. Could it be that the one in the blood cocoon was one of those old antiques? The bone demon god shuddered. If it was them, they wouldn't need to waste any effort to get rid of him if they really wanted the energy of a mere blood pool. It wouldn't be difficult at all for them to get rid of him. The figure formed from blood hesitated for a long time. Eventually, he sighed and his consciousness disappeared, leaving this space. For a mere blood pool and a mere clone, he had offended such a horrifying fella. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it at all. But how could he have known that there wasn't any powerful being here? It was just Yang Hanwu with a single demonic hand. When the blood-red figure disappeared and the will of the demon bone god left, Yang Hanwu heaved a sigh of relief. The will of the demon bone god was extremely terrifying. He was definitely not a match for it. Even if the dragon soul were to appear, there was no way he could win. However, this demonic hand had left Yang Hanwu even more shocked. This demonic hand was so horrifying that even the mighty will of the demon bone god was scared out of his wits with a single move. He didn't even want the blood pool that he was condensing his clone with. For a demon god, face was extremely important. If he didn't even care about his face, one could see how fearful he was of this demonic hand. In the distance, Hua Qianxue and the other 2 girls were also palpitating with fear. Too terrifying. That will was simply too terrifying. Even the will of the Lotus Emperor back then wasn't as terrifying as this. However, the will of the Lotus Great Emperor was different from the will of the Bone Devil God. The will of the Lotus Great Emperor had been consumed for many years and was only left with a little bit of strength. On the other hand, the will of the Bone Devil God had just arrived and had borrowed the power of the blood pool. That was why it was so terrifying. If they were to really compare, the strength of the Bone Devil God would definitely be inferior to the Lotus Great Emperor. The Bone Devil God's level was equivalent to the Great Sage Realm, which was 1 level lower than the Great Emperor Realm, Xiao Xiao. Xiao! Swish swish. At this time, Yang Hanwu realized that the demonic hand had increased its absorption speed. It sucked all the blood essence in the blood pool dry. After refining it all, the power of the demonic hand had become very strong. Yang Hanwu had also obtained great benefits. The feedback power from the demonic hand allowed Yang Hanwu's body to be tempered again. Some minor injuries in his body were repaired. His body had become stronger. His body was like Lu Li. There was no trace of impurities. This gave Yang Hanwu a great shock. In this blood cocoon, he seemed to have been reborn. He had broken out of the cocoon and become a butterfly. Even though Lin Fan's cultivation base did not increase, the transformation of his physical body was a huge benefit. It was even greater than the benefits of an emperor weapon. If Yang Hanwu was given an emperor weapon in exchange for such great benefits, Yang Hanwu would never agree. After the blood pool was sucked dry, Yang Hanwu's body was tempered to the extreme. The demonic hand fell into a deep slumber. Yang Hanwu regained control of his right arm. Crack! Crack! Yang Hanwu moved his arms and punched the blood cocoon again and again. The blood cocoon was blasted open. Yang Hanwu was like a chick breaking out of its shell. He broke the blood cocoon and drilled out. After the blood cocoon was broken, it turned into pure energy and poured into Yang Hongwu's body. Yang Hongwu's body was strengthened again. After taking a deep breath, Yang Hongwu punched out. There was an explosive sound in the air, and a deep hole appeared in the stone wall in the distance with a bang. The power pierced through the air. It was very powerful. Pure strength, pure physical strength, had reached such a level. Yang Hanwu was also shocked by his own strength. In terms of pure bodily strength, his strength had already reached the level of the divine realm. If he were to use the battle spirit possession, the burden would be much less than before. The power he could bear would also be much stronger. At this time, even if his battle spirit reached the venerable realm, he could still bear it. This was the advantage of having a powerful moral body. If it were his previous moral body and he hadn't obtained such great benefits, then even if Ing Xiaorui's strength had risen to the venerable realm, he still wouldn't have been able to withstand being possessed by the battle spirit. He wouldn't have been able to display such a formidable strength. If he forced himself to use it, it would cause great damage to his body. Your physical body is so powerful. Could it be that you have cultivated Lu Li's real body? Seeing Yang Hongwu's body was as pure as Lu Li, without a trace of impurities, Gao Qingqing remembered the records in ancient books. It was a powerful physical body called Lu Li's real body. Lu Li's real body had no trace of impurities and was incomparably powerful. Just the strength of his physical body was comparable to that of a divine realm expert. Lu Li's real body shouldn't have reached that level. Yang Hongwu shook his head. Yang Hongwu was also clear about Lu Li's real body. Although his physical body had no trace of impurities, there was still a huge gap between it and Lu Li's real body. To cultivate Lu Li's real body, one had to use Lu Li's divine fire to refine it. If he used Lu Li's divine fire to refine it, he could succeed. However, it was a pity that he didn't have Lu Li's divine fire. However, my physical body can be called pseudo Lu Li's real body. It's only a little bit weaker than Lu Li's real body. If I use Lu Li's divine fire to refine it, I can become Lu Li's real body. That's still pretty amazing. The strength of your physical body is probably much stronger than those people who cultivate their physical bodies. If they were to know that you could cultivate your physical body to such a degree so easily, they would probably go crazy with jealousy. Gao Qingqing said. Chapter 551. Earth Spirit Palace. That terrifying will is a strand of wool from the demon god of the Bone Devil clan. Yang Hongwu said, however, it retreated for some reason. I suspect that it has something to do with my right hand. I'm not too sure about the details. Yang Hongwu was also a little confused about the sudden retreat of the will. However, it was a fact that it retreated. For Yang Hongwu, there was no harm in it. Let's not talk about this anymore. It's good that you're fine. Hua Qianxua said. What should we do now? Gao Qingqing said, you said that there are still people guarding outside. If we rush out like this, I'm afraid that we'll be discovered. This is a troublesome matter. This is also a difficult problem. What if I turn into the clone of the Bone Devil god? Yang Hongwu heard the bald old man's words. This blood pool was actually prepared for the arrival of the Bone Devil god's clone. If he were to disguise himself as the Bone Devil god, it would be much easier. However, it wouldn't be easy to fool them. Yang Hongwu didn't know much about the Bone Devil clan, let alone the Bone Devil god. He had to think of a foolproof plan. He couldn't act rashly. Let's just fight our way out. It'll be great if we can escape through the ground. Then, we won't be discovered. Hua Wuying said. What did you say? Escape through the ground. We can't escape through the ground, but we can dig a tunnel. Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. If they could dig a tunnel out, they could completely avoid detection. However, it's not easy to dig a tunnel. There are seals on the ground here. Ishwar looked around and said. A mere seal is not a problem. Yang Hongwu's lips curled up into a smile. He had seal-breaking pills and formation-breaking pills to deal with seals. As for digging a tunnel, he had enough people. In his Shenlong world, there were people from the Earth and Armor race and Thousandeers race. Although there weren't many of them, there were still more than 1,000 of them. It wouldn't take long for all of them to come out and dig a tunnel. The soil they dug out could be directly transferred to the Shenlong world. Of course, it was also possible to store it in a storage ring. Move aside, wait for me to break the seal. Yang Hanwu took out a few seal-breaking pills and threw them out. Rays of light flashed and energy fluctuations appeared in the space. In a short moment, the seal on the ground was broken. All right, the restrictive barrier is open. Yang Hanwu clapped his hands. The restriction is open. How do we dig? We won't be in time. Gao Qingqing asked. Although she had entered the Shenlong world, the space was not small. Yang Hanwu did not send them to the Earth and Armor race and Thousandeers race. Therefore, she did not know that there were so many people in the Shenlong world. No problem. Yang Hanwu waved his hand and summoned Tuzhen, Thousandeers Bear, Thousandeers Soul Hua Wuing and the others. Then, he summoned the Thousandeers race and Earth and Armor race. Suddenly, the narrow space became very crowded. Young Master. Young Master. All right, there's no need to be overly courteous. I asked you to come out now so that you can dig a tunnel here. Dig it out as soon as possible. Yang Hanwu said. Yes, young master. We'll do it immediately. For the Earth and Armor race, digging a tunnel was something they were very familiar with. The Earth and Armor race were Earth-attributed warriors. They were like fish in water when digging a tunnel. Seeing this scene, Gao Qingqing was dumbfounded. That, junior brother Yang, how many people do you have in that space? After a while, Gao Qingqing regained her senses and asked Yang Hanwu. Yang Hanwu said, No, all of them are here. They are the people who were trapped in the life and death pagoda in the secret realm of the Lotus Realm. I brought them out because they were trapped in the life and death pagoda. Once we find a suitable place, I will settle them down. That's a good idea. Looking at Yang Hanwu, Gao Qingqing was surprised. These people had a clean background. Yang Hanwu came from the ancient desolate continent and did not have any power. If he wanted to grow, he needed to develop his own power. These people could form his own power. It couldn't be better. In the past, she had spent a lot of effort to establish her own power with the help of her master. In Ancient Domain, in Tianyi Immortal Mansion, without one's own team, without one's own strength, it was absolutely impossible. There were many trivial matters that couldn't be handled by one's own hands, so one needed someone to take care of it. Ordinary people weren't very reliable, only people who could be trusted to manage it. After an hour. Young master, we found a tunnel inside. It seems to be an underground palace. After a muffled sound, Tuzhen came out of the tunnel and reported to Yang Hanwu. Underground palace? When Yang Hanwu heard this, he was a bit surprised. Before, the cat had investigated this place, and this blood pool should be underground. It should be the lowest place in the skeletal village. Yang Hanwu didn't expect that there would be an underground palace that even the cat couldn't find. This made Yang Hanwu very surprised. Yes, young master. What should we do now? Do we continue to dig? Tuzhen nodded and said. No need. You guys come out first. I will go and take a look. Yang Hanwu said. Yes, young master. Please follow me. Tuzhen led the way. The group entered the tunnel. After a while, they arrived at the entrance of the underground palace. Looking at the dark tunnel in front of them, Yang Hanwu frowned. Mauer, can you see clearly? What's the situation in the depths of this tunnel? Yang Hanwu asked Mauer. Brother, I didn't find anything. This tunnel is very strange. My delusion breaker, I can only see what's visible to the naked eye. I can't see anything further than that. Mauer said. Yang Hongwu's face sank. This tunnel was not simple. Could it be an ancient ruin? Or was this an underground palace specially built by the Bone Devil clan? No matter what, he had to go in and take a look. Moreover, his goal was the direction of this tunnel. "Young master, why don't we send our clansmen to check it out first?" Thousandair's bear said to Yang Hanwu. "No need." Yang Hanwu shook his head and said, "You guys have done well today. I will send you guys into the Jinlong world. Thank you for your hard work. I will take care of the rest." "Mister, but I'm afraid there are great dangers in the underground palace." "We can help Mister by exploring the way in case Mister encounters any danger," Tujin said hesitantly. Chapter 552. The unknown terror. Yang Hanwu let the spiritual cat clone go first and let him scout the way. After walking for a while, something that shocked Yang Hanwu happened. In this long and narrow passage, there were corpses everywhere. Yang Hanwu sucked in a breath of cold air. This was a battlefield, and it had been there for a long time. The skeletons here are very strong. After everyone arrived, Yang Hanwu withdrew the spiritual cat avatar. Ishwar squatted down and looked at the skeletons. She analyzed and said, "These people were killed with one move." How could Ishwar be able to tell that they had all turned into piles of white bones? Yang Hanwu was also curious. He asked, "How did you know?" "Look, these skeletons are all tilted in the same direction. Moreover, the cause of their death is the same. Their souls were scattered by a powerful force. This is what it means to have their souls scattered." Ishwar said, "Therefore, I concluded that these skeletons died at the same time. They were killed with one move. Moreover, it was a secret soul attack. One move, this person's strength is too terrifying." Yang Hanwu sucked in a deep breath. Although these skeletons had lost their strength, he could still see that they were not simple. Their strength was probably at the divine realm. These skeletons have a faint demonic aura. Sherbauer said, "They were killed by demonic energy." "Killed by demonic energy?" Yang Hanwu heard Sherbauer's words. He paused and said, "You mean, these people were killed by demons?" "They were killed by a demon god. A powerful demon god, a real great demon." Sherbauer said, "These people should be Buddhists. Look at their weapons, they're all different. Although the Buddhist power on them has almost disappeared, you can still tell that there's still some Buddhist power left on some powerful Buddhist weapons." "Buddha? Demon?" Yang Hanwu narrowed his eyes. This underground palace wasn't as simple as it seemed. This was a dangerous place. Compared to the bone devil race above, it was much more dangerous. You have to be careful. If the skeletons here come back to life, I'm afraid you will all die here. Sherbauer continued, "There's a powerful force in this underground palace that's still in hibernation. Once it wakes up, the entire ancient region will be in grave danger. You guys will be the first to bear the brunt of it. Given your strength, you'll definitely die." "Are you trying to scare me?" Yang Hanwu was startled after hearing Sherbauer's words. This underground palace was this dangerous? This made Yang Hanwu a little scared, and he wondered if he should withdraw from the exploration of the underground palace. "Big brother, big sister Bauer is not lying. There is indeed a powerful force in this underground palace. However, I can't tell whether it is evil or not." Nini's voice sounded. "However, I suggest Big Brother not to continue. If that powerful creature wakes up and wants to harm Big Brother, we won't be able to help Big Brother." Yang Hanwu swallowed his saliva. This news was too shocking. "What's wrong?" Gao Qingqing poked Yang Hanwu when she saw him standing still. "I'm afraid we are in trouble." Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly. "This underground palace is beyond my expectations. There is a terrifying existence in this underground palace. That terrifying existence is not something we can deal with. However, that terrifying existence is still in a deep slumber. I'm hesitating whether to continue." Zap! Zap! At this time, a sound came from behind. It was the sound of the stone door moving. There was a change in the underground palace. The original passage was sealed. Everyone's face changed. They quickly went back and tried to push open the stone door. However, it was useless. Where was the stone wall? Where was the stone door? Moreover, it was extremely thick. Oh no, it seems that it is impossible to leave. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. They could only continue moving forward. You just said that there is a terrifying existence in this underground palace. What kind of terrifying existence is it? Ishwar asked. Yes. How did you know? Gao Qingqing asked. How did I know? Yan Hanwu said. It is a strong premonition. This kind of strong premonition has never been wrong. Now, I just hope that the terrifying existence will not wake up. It is not hostile to us. Maybe this premonition is wrong? Gao Qingqing smiled and comforted him. Don't worry too much. It is just a premonition. You have been too nervous recently. Therefore, it is normal to have this kind of feeling. Let's hope so. Yang Hanwu nodded. He also did not want to encounter a terrifying existence. However, this underground palace was indeed very strange. After entering here, he just said that he was thinking about leaving, but the passage changed. Suddenly, Yang Hanwu thought of a possibility. Could it be that Ing Xiaorui's true body was trapped here because of that terrifying existence? If that was the case, there was no way to go around that terrifying existence. However, this was just a guess. Yang Hanwu did not want to see this kind of thing become the truth. Let's continue. Ishwar said. I will scout the way. No need. Yang Hanwu shook his head. It is safer for everyone to stay together. Oh right, senior sister Qingqing, I think it will be safer for you to enter my small world. There is also sister Wu-ying and Qian Erling. They were not strong. If there was a real danger, it would be difficult to protect them. Therefore, Yang Hanwu considered sending them into the Zhenlong world. Don't. Gao Qingqing shook her head. Junior brother Yang, don't underestimate me. I am not only an expert in formations, but also in mechanisms. There are many mechanisms in this underground palace. I will be of great help to you. This was out of Yang Hongwu's expectation. Gao Qingqing was a green lotus sacred body. He did not expect her to know about mechanisms. However, seeing her insistence, he did not mention it again. Hua Wuying was also unwilling to enter the Zhenlong world. Qian Erling also requested to stay. Originally, when Tu Jin and the others were sent to the Zhenlong world, Qian Erling wanted to stay. However, Tu Jin, Qian Erling, and Qian Erling repeatedly requested to stay. Therefore, Qian Erling was not sent to the Zhenlong world. Qian Erling's ears were very sensitive. Once there was a strange sound, she would be able to distinguish it. It would be of great help. Chapter 553. Thousand Buddha Ruler. What a gigantic Buddha! When they arrived at a spacious area, a gigantic Buddha appeared in the middle. Is this the terrifying Almighty you were talking about? Gao Qingqing asked. No way, it looks like a statue. Yang Hanwu looked at it and said. It's not an ordinary stone statue. The Buddha disappeared tens of thousands of years ago. I didn't expect it to appear here. Hua Qianxua said. 100,000 years ago, a peerless Almighty appeared. Rumor has it that his cultivation had surpassed the great emperor realm. When he was young, he left home and prayed to Buddha. However, he suffered inhuman treatment and was bullied by the disciples of the Buddhist sect. Later, he changed to the martial Tao and entered the Tao through martial arts. After his cultivation was successful, he unified the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths and turned it into a super dynasty. He was the first great emperor. Rumor has it that the great emperor realm came from this. That great emperor gave a decree to destroy the Buddhist sect, and from then on, the Buddhist sect collapsed and its inheritance was severed in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Yang Hongwu's blood boiled after hearing this. That Almighty was so terrifying. He unified the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths and even destroyed the Buddhist sect. This was really ferocious. It's very strange for this Buddha statue to appear here. Hua Qianxua said. If this was in the past and the existence of Buddha was discovered, it would be besieged and destroyed. Could it be that these people here are all monks and were destroyed by the people of that dynasty? No, that shouldn't be the case. Although the skeletons we encountered earlier were all Buddhist cultivators, they weren't destroyed by the people of that dynasty. They were destroyed by a terrifying great devil. That's because those skeletons contain the impact of the devil's power, said Yang Hongwu. Demon, destroyed by a demon? Yes. Yang Hongwu said. Don't think too much about it. Let's find the way and save your Zhanling's true body and leave this place. I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen. At this moment, Hua Wuying urged. I have the same feeling. Qian Erling agreed and nodded. Boom! When Yang Hongwu looked at the huge Buddha statue and walked forward, the Buddha statue suddenly cracked open. Within the Buddha statue, a ruler appeared. On the ruler, there were thousands of Buddhas engraved on it. The tallest one was a person sitting on a lotus throne. That appearance shocked Yang Hongwu. That was Tathagata. It looked exactly like the Tathagata Buddha that he had heard of on earth. Thousand Buddha ruler, this is one of the supreme treasures of Buddhism, the Thousand Buddha ruler. Seeing this ruler, Ishwar took a step back and exclaimed. What a dense Buddhist power! Yang Hongwu grabbed the Thousand Buddha ruler. This was a Buddhist supreme treasure. It was also an emperor artifact. Thousand Buddha Tathagata, great freedom and light. A cultivation technique appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind, Thousand Buddha demon extermination art. The sacred artifact recognizes its master. The girls exclaimed in surprise. They didn't expect the Thousand Buddha ruler to recognize its master on its own. Yang Hongwu was also very surprised. This Buddhist supreme treasure actually recognized him as its master. This was simply too surprising. However, what surprised Yang Hongwu even more was that the Thousand Buddha ruler turned into a golden light and entered his right hand, joining the demon-suppressing hand. When the demon hand encountered the aura of the Thousand Buddha ruler, it violently resisted. In Yang Hongwu's right hand, the Thousand Buddha ruler and the demon hand were constantly fighting, causing Yang Hongwu to suffer. The Buddhist light and the demon hand were entangled. F***CKU. Yang Hongwu couldn't help but want to curse. The Thousand Buddha ruler was indeed a good item, but it recognized its master on its own. It was purely looking for trouble. It directly provoked the demon hand and angered it. This time, things were getting a little out of hand. Be quiet for me. Yang Hongwu roared and punched the ground with his right hand. The ground was smashed into a large pit. The violent power leaked out, causing the entire ground to shake. At this time, the Thousand Buddha ruler and the demon hand in his right hand stopped. Yang Hongwu breathed a sigh of relief. If this continued, he would rather cut off his right hand. However, Yang Hongwu knew that this was just a thought. If it was really that simple, it would be great. His right hand was now a demonic hand. It was too strong. It was impossible to cut it off. Unless he was strong enough to completely suppress the demonic hand, then it would be possible. If he could completely suppress the demon hand, what was the point of cutting it off? He could directly refine the demon hand and make it into his own arm. Are you okay? Seeing Yang Hongwu's right hand in such a situation, the girls were helpless. He could only rely on himself to deal with it. There was no way the others could help. I'm fine. Don't worry. Yang Hongwu shook his head. Master, you looked very scary just now. Qian Erling hesitated for a moment and said. What's wrong? Yang Hongwu was stunned and said, how so? It was as if you were possessed by a demon. You were full of killing intent. Qian Erling said, also, I vaguely heard something, but it's not clear. I can't explain it. Yang Hongwu was a little surprised that she could vaguely hear something. Qian Erling's physique was special. She could hear things that others couldn't. This wasn't strange. However, seeing how serious Qian Erling was, Yang Hongwu was afraid that this matter wasn't simple. It was related to him. However, Yang Hanwu didn't know what was going on. Qian Erling couldn't explain it clearly. She could only hear a little bit. It was just the tip of the iceberg. Yang Hanwu also knew that his body was not that simple. His soul was not originally from this world. It was a transmigrator. Now that his body was special, his soul was even more special. How did he come to this world? Was it an accident, or was it deliberately done by someone? All of this was still a mystery. He had to become stronger to figure it out. If you can't explain it, then forget it. Don't think too much. Don't make it difficult for yourself. Yang Hanwu patted Qian Erling's shoulder and said. Qian Erling's strength was not strong. If she forced herself to listen to these things, it would be very harmful to her. Yang Hanwu would not do that, although Yang Hanwu also wanted to know these things. Okay. Qian Erling nodded. She knew that Yang Hanwu cared about her. She was touched, but at the same time, she secretly made up her mind. She must cultivate well and work hard to improve her cultivation. Only then would she be able to help Yang Hanwu more. Let's go. Let's continue. Yang Hanwu said. Chapter 554. Soul-suppressing tablet. There are traces of a battle here. Bloodstains. That's right. There was a battle here not too long ago. Yang Hanwu could also tell that the bloodstains on the ground were left behind not too long ago. There are corpses. Yi Shuiyu said. There are also corpses of savage beasts. Yang Hanwu looked at the corpses in front of him. There were savage beasts and human cultivators. These savage beasts were all black and filled with dark energy. As for the human cultivators, they were all very powerful. The weakest one was at level 5 Divine Realm. Yang Hanwu was shocked. The weakest one was at level 5 Divine Realm. As for these savage beasts, no, ferocious beasts, they were also very terrifying. There were not many ferocious beasts, only 3 of them. However, there were more than 10 human cultivators' corpses. Who are these people? What's their background? Senior Sister Gao, have you seen them before? Yang Hanwu was not very familiar with the sects of ancient domain. He might not even be able to recognize the 4 great immoral palaces. Therefore, he could only ask Gao Qingqing. Although Gao Qingqing had entered ancient domain 2 years earlier than Yang Hanwu, she knew much more than Yang Hanwu. As for Hua Qianxue, she had only entered ancient domain recently. She also did not know much about ancient domain in the past few years. I don't know these people. Gao Qingqing shook her head and said, I don't know which sect has such clothes. These people's clothes were all the same. They should be from some sect. However, they were not from Buddhism. However, since Gao Qingqing did not know, Yang Hanwu did not have any clue. He looked at Hua Qianxue, hoping that she could explain it to him. Qianxue, what about you? Do you know which sect or clan these people are from? These clothes look like the clothes of a sect that I saw in an ancient book. But I can't be sure. I just happened to see it in that book. It was a long time ago, so I can't be sure. I just have a feeling that it might be. Hua Qianxue looked at it for a long time before she said, I vaguely remember that the sect is called the Ghost Shadow Sect. They come and go without a trace. They won't appear in front of others. In the entire ancient domain, they have only appeared a few times. I've heard of this sect. There aren't many people in this sect, but each and every one of them is an expert. Their combat strength is extremely terrifying. Rumor has it that their sect master once assassinated a great emperor. Yi Shuiyu said. What a powerful sect. If these people are really from the Ghost Shadow Sect, why are they here? Yang Hanwu frowned. There were more and more mysteries. Unexpectedly, there was a hidden Ghost Shadow Sect. Moreover, there was the encampment of the Bone Devil race outside. Why would the Bone Demons choose this place as their base? Wouldn't it be better to go to some chaotic places that the 4 immortal mansions couldn't manage? Or deep in the mountains and forests? This place had already been discovered by the 4 great immortal mansions, yet they had no intention of moving away. Wasn't this too strange? Yang Hanwu tried to connect all the dots. He was afraid that there was a great conspiracy behind all of this. Perhaps, the entire ancient domain was about to change. Something big was about to happen. Buddha, devil, ghost shadow sect, bone devil race. Yang Hanwu remembered that when he was in the ancient desolate continent, he met the devil race. The devil race appeared and was so arrogant. He was afraid that the devil race was about to invade the ancient desolate continent. Since the devil race was preparing to invade the ancient desolate continent, why would they covet the ancient domain? Or perhaps, the Nine Heavens domain? Let's go and see what's going on ahead. There was no way back. They could only move forward. Even if there was a great danger ahead, they still had to go. Therefore, the group moved forward cautiously. Yang Hanwu used the psychic cat clone to walk in the front. His true body, Hua Wuying, Gao Qingqing, Qian Erling and the others were in the middle. Yi Shuer and Hua Qianxue were at the back. After walking for a short distance, about 10 zhang, the path ahead suddenly opened up. A huge hall appeared. This hall was very spacious and very big. In the center of the hall, there was a huge stone tablet. Soul-suppressing tablet. This is the soul-suppressing tablet. There were 3 words on the tablet. The 3 words were ancient characters. The talismans on the tablet were filled with ancient, mysterious, and mysterious power. It was as if it had a magical power. Looking at this huge monolith made people feel that they were very small. Compared to this monolith, they were like a drop in the ocean. They couldn't be compared at all. This monolith seemed to be a huge world, a universe of its own. Look, behind the stone tablet. Suddenly, Gao Qingqing said and pointed at the back of the huge stone tablet. Just now, everyone was shocked by this huge stone tablet. After hearing Gao Qingqing's words, they looked at other places in the hall. Behind the stone tablet was the most important thing. It was a huge coffin. There were countless talisman seals and talisman scripts on it. There was also a powerful restriction formation. What kind of existence is it suppressing? Yang Hanwu took a deep breath. As an array grandmaster and a 7th grade talisman master, of course, he could see that the array, talisman scripts, and restriction formation were not simple. These restriction formations, talisman scripts were beyond his level. 8th grade? No, it might be more than that. It could be 9th grade or even higher. This was all possible. Yang Hanwu swallowed his saliva and asked Shirbao telepathically, Shirbao, don't tell me that the terrifying existence you're talking about is the one suppressed in this coffin? Yes, it's him. Shirbao said, you'll be really shocked when you see the person sealed in the coffin. Yang Hanwu was surprised to hear this. Do I know that guy? You can say yes, but you can also say no. Shirbao continued, however, I suggest that you don't wake this fellow up no matter what. Don't touch the coffin, and don't try to break the runes either. Otherwise, the consequences will be dire. Given your current strength, you're still too weak. Even I am no match for him now. This was the first time Yang Hanwu had heard Shirbao say that he was inferior to someone else. It was obvious what kind of terrifying existence was sealed in the coffin. Could it be a great emperor? Given Shirbao's character, she doesn't even take the Supreme Emperor seriously. She's so fearless. Why would she behave like that? It was Shirbao's expression that made Yang Hanwu even more curious. Who was lying in the coffin? Don't worry. I won't touch it. Yang Hanwu took a deep breath and suppressed his curiosity. Curiosity was not a good thing. Sometimes, it could even kill. Chapter 555. Ing Xiaorui's true body. What's wrong? Junior brother Yang, why are you stopping me? Gao Qingqing was stopped by Yang Hanwu. She said strangely, I'm just going to take a look. It's just a coffin, I won't touch it. Don't worry. Don't touch it. There's a terrifying existence there. If it wakes up, you and I will die here. Yang Hanwu said. Who's inside the coffin? Yi Shuiyu said, this coffin is not simple. I don't know who's sealed inside. I don't know either. Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly, anyway, it's very terrifying. I don't know who exactly it is. In short, it's best not to touch it. It's not that serious. We're just going to take a look. Gao Qingqing said, will that thing wake up just by taking a look? Master, my true body is inside this stone tablet. I can feel it. At this moment, Ing Xiaorui said. Inside this stone tablet? You're not joking with me, right? Yang Hongwu's eyes widened. Inside the stone tablet, it's troublesome. If they want to save someone from the stone tablet, they have to move the stone tablet. If they move the stone tablet, it's very likely that the terrifying existence inside the coffin will be awakened. If that happens, how will they survive? It's true. My true body is inside this stone tablet. Ing Xiaorui said seriously and confirmed. Yang Hanwu frowned and said, can you communicate with her? If she can communicate with her, there's a way. At least, I can ask her about the situation. How did she enter the stone tablet? What happened in the process? What kind of person is sealed inside the coffin? Ing Xiaorui shook her head and said, my true body is very weak now. It's very difficult to communicate with her. The main thing is that there's a seal on the stone tablet. It's very difficult to break the seal. My true body is not strong enough to break the seal and communicate with her. This gave Yang Hanwu a headache. If he wanted to save Ing Xiaorui, he would have to break the seal on the stone tablet. Once the seal was broken, Yang Hanwu wasn't sure what would happen. The most important thing was that he was worried about waking up the terrifying existence inside the coffin. Sure Bauer, do you know about this stone tablet? Can you tell me about it? After some thought, Yang Hanwu asked Sure Bauer. She was very knowledgeable and even knew about the existence in the coffin. Hence, she should know about the stone tablet too. The soul-suppressing tablet was used to suppress souls. Since she was suppressed by the soul-suppressing tablet, could it be that Ing Xiaorui's original body was only left with her soul or primordial spirit? The soul-suppressing tablet exists to suppress a part of the soul inside the coffin. If the soul-suppressing tablet is broken, the soul inside the coffin will be completely awakened, and the entire ancient realm will be plunged into misery and suffering, Sure Bauer said. Then, can we save Ing Xiaorui's original body from the soul-suppressing tablet? Yang Hanwu asked. Well, you can try to communicate with the soul-suppressing tablet. The soul-suppressing tablet is a supreme divine tool, which is on the same level as your ninth heaven mysterious Yin Tower. Compared to your ninth heaven mysterious Yin Tower, the soul-suppressing tablet is complete. Even an ordinary emperor weapon can't compare to it. Sure Bauer said. All supreme divine tools have their own spirits. If you want to save Ing Xiaorui's original body, you can only communicate with the spirit and ask it to release her. Communicate with the spirit? That's right. Only by communicating with the spirit will you be able to save her, Sure Bauer said. Okay, I'll try. How do I communicate with it? Yang Hanwu asked humbly. In fact, Yang Hanwu had also heard about the tool spirit. His nine heavens mysterious Yin Tower should also have a tool spirit. However, he had never communicated with the tool spirit of the nine heavens mysterious Yin Tower. If he could communicate with it, perhaps he could obtain more resources from the nine heavens mysterious Yin Tower. Use your heart to communicate with it. Didn't you cultivate the Spirit Refining Heart Sutra? Use the Spirit Refining Heart Sutra to communicate with it, Sure Bauer said. Yang Hanwu nodded, then looked at Hua Qianxue and the other girls. Ing Xiaorui's original body is trapped in the soul-suppressing tablet. I'll try to communicate with the soul-suppressing tablet and save her. Protect me. Also, don't touch the restriction formation or the coffin. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable. Yang Hanwu was worried that Gao Qingqing would touch the coffin out of curiosity, so he reminded them. Don't worry. We'll protect you. Unless something unexpected happens, we won't move it, Yi Shuiyu said. Yang Hanwu was so serious that they understood the seriousness of the matter. After they nodded, Yang Hanwu sat cross-legged and closed his eyes. He began to communicate with the soul-suppressing tablet with his spiritual energy. Senior, senior. Yang Hanwu tried to communicate with it again and again. Of course, he was very polite. Otherwise, it would ignore him. Yang Hanwu didn't treat the soul-suppressing tablet as a weapon at all. He treated it as a person, a cultivator, which showed his sincerity. In fact, the soul-suppressing tablet was equivalent to a senior, a living creature, a powerful living creature. However, it was different from other living creatures like humans and savage beasts. It was not made of flesh and blood, but a stone tablet. Other than that, there was no difference at all. Although he didn't get a response at first, Yang Hanwu didn't give up. He tried again and again. Finally, after an hour, Yang Hanwu's efforts were rewarded. An old voice sounded in Yang Hanwu's ears. "Junior, what do you want from me?" The voice sounded weak and strained, as if it was an old man who was about to reach the end of his life. This shocked Yang Hanwu. The situation didn't seem good. If the soul-suppressing tablet's spirit became so weak, it meant that the soul-suppressing tablet didn't have much energy left. It was not enough to suppress the powerful existence in the coffin. This wasn't a good thing. "Senior, hello. Are you the soul-suppressing tablet's spirit?" Yang Hongwu's tone was still respectful. At this time, the image of an old man appeared in Yang Hongwu's mind. He nodded and said, "Yes, it's this old man." "Young man, why did you wake me up?" The soul-suppressing tablet's spirit was surprised to see Yang Hanwu, but he quickly recovered. "Senior, did you suppress a woman called Ing Xiaorui?" Yang Hanwu asked. The old man pondered for a moment and said, "Not long ago, I did suppress a soul. Because she wanted to touch the sealed coffin, I suppressed her. If you are here for her, or for the coffin, I advise you to leave here. The thing in the coffin is not something you can touch." Chapter 556. Conditions. So that's how it is. I understand. The soul-suppressing tablet nodded. It pondered for a moment before saying, "It's not impossible if you want her soul back." "Thank you, senior." "Thank you, senior." Yang Hanwu was overjoyed. It would be great if he could get her soul back. He didn't expect things to go so smoothly. However, don't be happy too early. I can give you her soul, but you have to promise me one thing. The soul-suppressing tablet said. When Yang Hanwu heard this, he smiled bitterly in his heart. Sure enough, there are conditions. However, this is also something that can't be helped. It depends on the conditions. As long as I can do it, I will still agree. If I can't do it, then there is no other way. Senior, please tell me what you want. Yang Hanwu said. Don't worry. You don't have to be so nervous. You can definitely fulfill my condition. If you can't, then I don't need to mention it. The soul-suppressing tablet said with a smile after seeing Yang Hanwu's troubled expression. Senior, don't worry. As long as I can fulfill it, I will do my best. Yang Hanwu patted his chest and said. You must have guessed it. My mission here is to suppress the demon in the coffin. That demon has been suppressed by me for hundreds of thousands of years. However, recently, it has become restless. There was a great battle 100,000 years ago and the demon's remnant consciousness managed to escape. Now, I'm getting weaker and weaker. I can't suppress it any longer. If I can't suppress it and let it escape, then the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths will be plunged into misery and suffering. It will be a great disaster. The soul-suppressing tablet said slowly. Senior, what do you want me to do? Let me find the demon's remnant soul that escaped? Yang Hanwu said softly. The soul-suppressing tablet's words shocked Yang Hanwu. 1,000,000 years. Was this true? The soul-suppressing tablet had been here for 1,000,000 years. As for the war 100,000 years ago, was it the war where the great emperor unified the world and proclaimed himself emperor? Yang Hanwu couldn't help but wonder. this is only one of the reasons. The soul-suppressing tablet nodded and said, more importantly, you have to find a way to suppress the demon soul. Senior, you think too highly of me. This devil is so strong. Even his remnant soul is very strong. I'm afraid I'm far from being his opponent. As for his soul, it's needless to say. Senior, you're almost unable to suppress it. I'm just a Tao pedestal realm warrior. It's impossible. Yang Hanwu spread out his hands and said. If he had the strength, he would suppress the demon, even if he had to pay a certain price. However, the problem now was that he didn't have enough strength. He couldn't even withstand a blow from the soul-suppressing tablet. How could he be qualified to suppress the demon? Don't belittle yourself. You were born for the order of the whole world. Although your strength is not strong now, as long as you persevere, you will soon grow up. Soon, you will have enough strength to help me. I hope that you can help me suppress this devil after your strength has reached that level. Of course, this is also helping yourself. The soul-suppressing tablet smiled and said, don't belittle yourself. You were born for the order of the whole world. Although your strength is not strong now, as long as you persist, you will soon grow up. It won't be long before you have enough strength to help me. I hope that you can help me suppress this devil after your strength has reached that level. Of course, this is also helping yourself. It wouldn't be a problem for him to help the soul-suppressing tablet after he grew up and became a great emperor. Of course, Yang Hanwu could agree to this point. He nodded and said, okay, Senior. When my strength has reached the great emperor realm, I'll come back to help Senior suppress this terrifying demon. When Yang Hanwu said this, he faintly felt that there was something extra in his soul. Since you've promised me, I'll help you with your matter. You can take this little girl away. While speaking, the soul-suppressing tablet glowed and shot out a ball of light. The ball of light fell into Yang Hanwu's hand. It was a soul, a shrunken figure. It was Ing Xiaorui. Thank you, Senior. Yang Hanwu bowed. No need. In addition, this is the demon's appearance. After you go out, you must find the demon's remnant soul. You can't let him live, and you can't let him find this place. Otherwise, it will be more dangerous. The soul-suppressing tablet said. Another ray of light entered between Yang Hanwu's eyebrows. Yang Hanwu felt that there was more information in his mind. It was a portrait. When Yang Hanwu saw the portrait, he was stunned. The person in the portrait looked exactly like his nemesis, Zetian. Could it be that this terrifying devil is actually Zetian? Yang Hanwu sucked in a deep breath of cold air. This was too shocking. Zetian, it was actually Zetian. He was a great devil, a terrifying great devil. His true body was actually an existence that had lived for millions of years. It had been suppressed here by the soul-suppressing steel for millions of years. If Zetian grew to a certain extent and opened this place, he would be able to find his true body and resurrect it. Then, this matter would become serious. No wonder Zetian's luck was so abnormal. He was clearly on the road to death, but he was still able to escape. Moreover, after escaping, he was able to recover quickly. His strength was much stronger than before. It turned out that his original body was a terrifying demon. And this time, he was here again. It was the will of the heavens. Yang Hanwu held Ing Xiaorui's soul in his hand. At this time, Ing Xiaorui's soul was still sealed and had not been fully opened. Yang Hanwu looked at the soul-suppressing tablet. He guessed that it had its own considerations. It was worried that Ing Xiaorui's original body would break the seal of the great demon, causing the great demon to be born prematurely. If that was the case, it was not strange. But Yang Hanwu did not understand. Why would Ing Xiaorui's original body want to release such a terrifying demon? Did she not know? Or did she want to steal the treasure? In some ancient tombs and ruins, there were usually very powerful and precious treasures. Of course, this Earth's spirit palace was the same. Not to mention anything else, just any random item in this large hall was an extremely precious existence. Of course, there were originally many high-grade weapons and equipment, but it was too long ago that they had lost their spirituality and became ordinary items. Some had even turned into nothingness. And most of the items that were left behind had lost their spirituality. Chapter 557. Leaving the underground palace, humans were greedy. Yang Hanwu guessed that Ing Xiaorui's true body had entered the Earth Spirit Palace to search for the treasures in the Earth Spirit Palace. Those who had died on the way should be his companions. Some of the stronger ones had entered the main palace and saw the treasures. They did not expect that most of them had lost their spirituality. Only a few of them had retained their spirituality. Obviously, those treasures were not enough to satisfy them. So, they set their eyes on the treasures in the coffin and the soul-suppressing tablet. "Did you succeed?" Hua Qianxue asked when she saw Yang Hanwu open his eyes and stand up. Yang Hanwu nodded and said, "Yes, I succeeded. We have obtained the soul of Ing Xiaorui's true body. As for the body, it's gone." The soul-suppressing tablet was merciful enough to keep the soul. Apart from Ing Xiaorui, Yang Hanwu did not care about the others. They were suppressed by the soul-suppressing tablet. They would soon become the soul-suppressing tablet's energy to suppress the terrifying great demon. "Since we've saved them, let's leave this place," Yi Shuai said. This place was too uncomfortable. So, she did not want to stay here any longer. Gao Qingqing, on the other hand, was very curious as to what kind of person was sealed inside the coffin. She looked at Yang Hanwu and asked, "Junior brother Yang, aren't you curious as to what is inside the coffin? Is it a human, a beast, or a demon?" Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly. He had underestimated a woman's curiosity. Why did Gao Qingqing always want to see what's inside the coffin? "Senior sister Qingqing, it's better if you don't ask about it. It won't benefit you or me. We're too weak. Even if we reach the peak divine realm or even fourth step honorable, we won't be able to deal with what's inside. Moreover, this matter cannot be spread out. Otherwise, if someone enters this place and destroys the seal, the entire ancient domain will be destroyed." Yang Hanwu said solemnly. "Junior brother Yang, it's not that serious, right?" Gao Qingqing was still in disbelief. The entire ancient domain would be destroyed? Senior soul-suppressing tablet told me. Yang Hanwu pointed at the huge stone tablet in front of him and said, "Let's go. There's no need to look at it anymore. It's meaningless. Let's leave this place." "Do you know the way out?" Hua Qianxue asked. "The way we came in has been sealed." Yang Hanwu said, "I know the way out." In the information that the soul-suppressing tablet had transmitted to him, there was a secret method to freely enter and exit the Earth Soul Palace. Therefore, Yang Hanwu could freely enter and exit the Earth Soul Palace. That's good. After leaving the main hall, a rumbling sound came from behind. The palace behind them was sealed. Everyone turned around to look, but how could they find the way into the palace? It was simply a stone wall. There was no way out. This was not an illusory array, but a real transfer. What a powerful mechanism. What a mysterious array. Seeing this scene, Gao Qingqing was shocked. What a pity. What a pity. Yang Hanwu secretly shook his head. He didn't know what Gao Qingqing meant by pity. Was it because they couldn't see the thing in the coffin or because they couldn't see the mechanism? "Let's go. Now that we've given up, we can't see it anyway." Yang Hanwu didn't mind and said with a chuckle. "Sigh." Gao Qingqing sighed. "Let's go. We can't see it anyway." The group walked out. While walking, Yang Hanwu asked Ing Xiaorui, "What do you plan to do now?" Although her original body was rescued, it was still sealed and in a deep sleep. If she wanted to fuse with her original body, she could do so. Of course, after the fusion, who would be the main body and who would be the main body, this was the problem. Yang Hanwu certainly wanted Ing Xiaorui to become the main body, not Ing Xiaorui's original body. After all, he and Ing Xiaorui had gone through so many life and death situations. Along the way, they had gone through trials and tribulations together. She had helped him so much that the two of them had established a deep friendship. If it was Ing Xiaorui's original body, they wouldn't have any interaction at all. They would be strangers. However, Yang Hanwu didn't give Ing Xiaorui any pressure, nor did he want to affect her. It was all up to her. She could do whatever she wanted. Let's wait until she wakes up. After a long time, Ing Xiaorui still didn't make a choice inside. As you wish. Yang Hanwu nodded. Now, Ing Xiaorui's original body was just a soul, and she was also injured. Although her original strength was very strong, now that she was in his hands, how could she turn the sky upside down? Therefore, Yang Hanwu didn't worry about her original body at all. Half an hour later, Yang Hanwu led everyone to an exit of the underground palace. This place was very hidden and connected to the outside. It was also a transmission array, and it needed to pass through a powerful array formation and restriction. Yang Hanwu looked around, opened the array formation and restriction, and motioned them to follow. After passing through the array formation and restriction, they came to a stone room. After entering the stone room, Yang Hanwu once again activated the array formation and restriction, sealing the entire underground palace. If outsiders wanted to enter this place, they had to pass through the array formation and restriction. Of course, there were also mechanisms inside, which were very dangerous. People who wanted to break into this place would encounter unimaginable danger. Once the array formation and restriction were triggered, terrifying guardian beasts would appear. The strength of these guardian beasts was also very strong. The corpses of the fierce beasts that Yang Hanwu and others saw in front of them were the guardian beasts of this underground palace. Of course, that was just one of them. The underground palace was very big, and there was more than one guardian beast in it, and the number was even more astonishing. If it wasn't for the information given to Yang Hanwu by the soul-suppressing tablet, even if he wanted to walk out of this underground palace, it was absolutely not something that could be done overnight. He might even die here. This is the last exit of the underground palace. Yang Hanwu pointed to the stone room and said, "This is the exit? This is a stone room, right? What you see with your eyes is not necessarily true." Yang Hanwu said with a smile, and then stepped into the stone room. After entering the stone room, another passage appeared in front of them. It was impossible to see in the stone room because there was a stone wall here, and there was no road at all. However, after walking in, it was another world. In fact, entering the stone room was equivalent to entering another layer of space. It was not in the same space at all. Chapter 558. Soul Fusion were finally out. The air outside is so fresh. After leaving the underground palace, everyone took a deep breath. Outside, there was no smell of decay or death. The air was fresh and full of life. Yes, it's more comfortable outside. Oh right, where's this place? Are we out of the skeleton's village? Hua Wuying asked. If they were in the skeleton's village, it would be troublesome. It was not easy to leave the skeleton's village. The skeleton's village's defenses were very tight. There were sentries every 3 steps, and there were all kinds of restrictions and formations. However, these restrictions and formations were useless in front of Yang Hanwu. We're not out of the skeleton's village's territory. This is the back mountain of the skeleton's village. Yang Hanwu said. Yang Hanwu knew the map of the entire Earth Spirit Palace. This was all told to him by the soul-suppressing tablet. And the location of this exit just so happened to be in the mountains behind the skeletal manor. To leave this place, they had to go through the skeleton's village. Of course, they could also use the teleportation talisman. However, it was too dangerous to use it here. If they were not careful, they might end up in the depths of the skeleton's village. They might even be teleported into the spatial turbulence. Because the space here was unstable, they could not use the teleportation talisman. It would cause spatial storms and spatial turbulence. Yang Hanwu would not use the great teleportation talisman unless it was a last resort. We're in the back mountain of the skeleton's village. Why don't we use the teleportation talisman? Yang Hanwu was about to say that they could not use the teleportation talisman when Gao Qingqing suggested it. Yang Hanwu could only smile bitterly. I'm afraid we can't. The space here is unstable. I don't know why, but it's very dangerous to use the teleportation talisman here. No way. Why am I so unlucky? Gao Qingqing was depressed when she heard that. It's the truth. I'm afraid it has something to do with the Earth Spirit Palace. Yan Hanwu said. If we can't use the teleportation talisman, then we can only go through the skeleton's village and leave this place? Hua Qinxue asked. Yang Hanwu nodded. Yes, there is no other way. We can only go through the skeleton village. Senior Sister Qingqing, when will the people from the Tanny Immortal Manor get here? Yang Hanwu asked. When they entered the Earth Spirit Palace, Gao Qingqing had already sent out a signal for the disciples of the Tanny Immortal Mansion to come and help. Now that 2 days had passed, he didn't know if they had already arrived at the skeletal village. Logically speaking, 2 days should be enough for them to rush here from the Tanny Immortal abode, unless they encountered some problems along the way. Let me ask. Gao Qingqing took out her communication jade amulet. After a while, Gao Qingqing said gloomily, No, there's no message. Something must have happened. Looks like we can only rely on ourselves. Something had gone wrong with the communication jade amulet. Before reinforcements arrived, they could not afford to waste time here. In the end, it's better to rely on yourself than on others. Yi Shuiyu said. It's still early. Let's leave at night. Yang Hanwu thought about it and said. It was too easy to be exposed during the day. At night, it would be easier to hide after using the aura concealment talisman. It would be much easier to leave after hiding a little or using a disguise. Before that, they could wait for Ing Xiaorui's soul to merge. Yang Hanwu estimated that Ing Xiaorui's original body should be about to wake up. Let's find a place to rest first. Yang Hanwu said. Okay. After 15 minutes, they came to a valley. Not far from the valley, there was a dense forest. In this forest, there were towering ancient trees. Yang Hanwu thought about it and dug a hole in the ancient trees. It was a simple room. Moreover, with Nini's help, it was easier and easier to hide. Before resting, Yang Hanwu deliberately arranged an array to hide. After entering this place, unless one was an array master, it would be difficult to find this place. Before Yang Hanwu went into seclusion, he said to Hua Qianxue and the others, You guys keep an eye on me. I need to deal with Ing Xiaorui's fusion with her original body. Unless there is a huge crisis, like a life or death situation, inform me directly. Otherwise, do not disturb me. This matter was very important. No mistakes could be made. Therefore, it was necessary to explain. When Hua Qianxue and the others heard this, they also knew the seriousness of this matter. Ing Xiaorui was Yang Hongwu's battle spirit. If the fusion was successful, the battle spirit's strength would increase greatly. Yang Hongwu's combat strength would also increase greatly. However, if the fusion failed, the backlash would not be light. A battle spirit and a martial artist were originally one. They were bound together for good or ill. Don't worry, we know. Yi Shuiyu nodded and said. Young master, don't worry. I will help you guard the surroundings. If there's a situation, I will inform everyone first. If we can't resist it, then I will inform you. Qian Erling said. Yang Hanwu nodded. Of course, Nini and Mao also acted as sentries. After doing all this, Yang Hanwu entered the tree hole. After sitting down cross-legged, Yang Hanwu communicated with Ing Xiaorui. At this time, Ing Xiaorui's original body was on the verge of awakening. She's about to wake up. Yang Hanwu released the soul of Ing Xiaorui's original body. After a few breaths, Ing Xiaorui's original body's soul was completely awakened. Her aura was very strong. The power of her soul had definitely reached the venerable realm. Yang Hanwu was shocked. Venerable, she was a venerable. Why did she come back to ancient domain? Venerables shouldn't be able to stay in this plane. Of course, there were some who used special methods. For example, Skeleton Venerable used a special method to stay in Ancient Domain. He entered Life and Death Tower's Yellow Spring River and became the overlord there. However, he still couldn't display his original strength. In Ancient Domain, Venerables could at most display 30% of their strength, or even less. Ing Xiaorui was the same. When Ing Xiaorui's original body saw Yang Hanwu, she was a little dazed at first. But soon, she woke up. "You are Yang Hanwu?" After the original body broke free from the seal, she established a connection with Ing Xiaorui. After all, Ing Xiaorui was only a strand of the original body's battle true spirit. "Yes." Yang Hanwu nodded and said, "I am Ing Xiaorui, the owner of your strand of battle true spirit. She is my battle spirit. Originally, I could have let Ing Xiaorui fuse with you when you were asleep. But she didn't choose to do so. She wanted to wait for you to wake up before making the choice. Now, I want to ask you, what is the meaning of this?" Chapter 559. Heavenly Tribulation. Ing Xiaorui's true body didn't have any requests. She was very calm. This surprised Yang Hanwu. However, Yang Hanwu wasn't worried. Even if she chose to fuse, she wouldn't be able to change the contract. Once she fused, she would have to abide by the contract. This was the law of the heavenly Tao. If she violated it, she would be annihilated unless she didn't want to live anymore. Since she chose to fuse, it meant that she had acknowledged him as her master. However, Yang Hanwu didn't understand. As a venerate, a former super genius, why didn't she have any requests? Very soon, the fusion began. Ing Xiaorui also appeared. Ing Xiaorui and her true body slowly fused together. Their souls began to fuse. This process was very slow, but it was also very dangerous. Of course, it was painful for Ing Xiaorui and her true body. The pain of soul fusion or soul separation was unbearable for ordinary people. It was as if there was a problem with one of your organs and it had to be removed. After the removal, another one had to be transplanted. Even if the transplanted part was cultivated from the original part of your body, it would still take a long time to be transplanted. It was also painful. Of course, soul fusion was much easier than soul separation. The pain and danger was also much less. Several hours passed. Ing Xiaorui's soul completely condensed. The two of them finally fused together. At this time, the sky changed. Tribulation clouds appeared in the sky. A terrifying pressure appeared. The atmosphere became very oppressive. Heavenly Tribulation. I didn't expect it to attract heavenly tribulation. Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly. This was troublesome. With the arrival of heavenly tribulation, such a huge commotion would definitely attract the Bone Devil race. If it was just heavenly tribulation, Yang Hanwu wouldn't be too worried. However, there were Bone Devil race outside. This was the biggest problem. The biggest danger was much harder to deal with than heavenly tribulation. "Are you Ing Xiaorui or your true body?" asked Yang Hanwu. "Enter my sea of consciousness." Ing Xiaorui smiled like a flower and looked at Yang Hanwu. "My master, is there a difference? I am your Ing Xiaorui, and also your original body. She is me, and I am her. There is no difference." Yang Hanwu nodded and understood. In fact, after the two merged, their personalities had completely merged and they had become one person. There was no difference. The only thing that had changed was his strength. His strength had risen from the deity realm to the second layer of the venerable realm. In fact, Ing Xiaorui's original body's strength was much higher than that. In Ancient Domain, her strength was suppressed and her physical body was destroyed. Naturally, her cultivation level dropped. However, after fusing with Ing Xiaorui's true spirit, her strength increased again. However, it was still far from being able to recover to its peak. It was impossible in Ancient Domain. Ing Xiaorui turned into a ray of light and entered Yang Hongwu's sea of consciousness. If a venerable entered an ordinary warrior's sea of consciousness, he wouldn't be able to withstand such terrifying power. However, Yang Hanwu could. Yang Hongwu's sea of consciousness was incomparably huge. It was comparable to a great saint. Moreover, although his current physical body was not Lu Li's true body, it was enough to withstand Ing Xiaorui's current strength. After Ing Xiaorui entered his sea of consciousness, the heavenly tribulation did not disappear. Outside, Hua Qianxue and the others were anxious. The power of the heavenly tribulation had already spread out. The terrifying tribulation cloud had already shrouded the forest. The people of the Bone Demon village in the distance noticed this phenomenon. What's going on at the back of the mountain? Is there someone cultivating there? No, that's not right. The heavenly tribulation is so terrifying. It's not an ordinary heavenly tribulation. The patriarch of the Bone Demon village, Gu Wanhuan, looked at the tribulation cloud and muttered, "Men, go and investigate. Find out who is cultivating at the back of the mountain and trigger the heavenly tribulation." The heavenly tribulation was terrifying. It was probably the heavenly tribulation that would only appear when one tried to break through to the venerable realm. There weren't many warriors in the Bone Demon clan who had the strength to break through to the venerable realm. There were only a few of them. As the patriarch of the Bone Demon clan, Gu Tiangao was one of them. There was also the great elder, Gu Tiangao. Gu Tiangao, the bald old man, had also discovered the heavenly tribulation at the back of the mountain. Someone is undergoing the great tribulation of the venerable realm. It's definitely not Gu Wanhuan. Gu Tiangao said coldly. If it's not Gu Wanhuan, then who is it? Could it be that old man? There was a supreme elder in the Bone Demon clan. He was old and didn't have much lifespan left. He had been in the fourth step venerable realm and hadn't broken through. Now that he knew that he didn't have much lifespan left, it was possible for him to break through to the venerable realm. Thinking of this, the corners of Gu Tiangao's mouth curled up into a smile. If it was really him, then it would be great news. That old bastard didn't get along with him. One of the main reasons why Gu Wanhuan could become the patriarch was because he was highly regarded by that old bastard. If it wasn't for that old bastard, Gu Tiangao would have been the patriarch of the Bone Devil race. Therefore, Gu Tiangao was very dissatisfied with this supreme elder. However, as the supreme elder of the Bone Demon clan, his status was extremely high. He had the greatest prestige in the entire Bone Demon clan. No one dared to go against his words. Moreover, that old man's strength was also very terrifying. In addition, his lifespan was almost up. If he went crazy, no one would dare to go against him. Gu Tiangao was the same. If he went against him, that old man would probably choose to die together with him. To Gu Tiangao, life was precious. How could he be willing to die together with him? Therefore, when he saw the tribulation clouds appear in the back mountain, he thought for a moment and smiled. This time, if it was the old man who went through the tribulation, whether he succeeded or not, it was good news for him. If he succeeded, then he would ascend to the heaven domain. If he failed, then his soul would scatter. No matter what, Gu Wanhuan would lose a great backer. In this way, his chance to snatch the position of the Bone Demon clan's patriarch had come. Men. Yes, elder, what are your orders? Keep a close eye on the back mountain. If anything happens, immediately report to me. Gu Tiangao ordered. Yes, elder. Yang Hanwu didn't know that there were so many things going on in the Bone Demon clan at this time. To him, the most important thing was how to deal with the problem at hand. He wasn't too worried about the tribulation. Chapter 560. The Best Way. Yang Hanwu opened the tree hole and went outside. At this moment, Hua Qianxue and the others were nervously looking at the tree hole. At the same time, Yi Shuai and Qian Erling were paying close attention to the skeleton village. Junior brother Yang, you've come out. Seeing Yang Hanwu appear, the girls seemed to have gained a backbone and were very excited. And, what's the situation in the skeleton's village? Yang Hanwu asked. The skeleton's village's demons are moving. Qian Erling said, Many skeletons demons are rushing here. Yang Hanwu had already expected this. Junior brother Yang, how did you attract the heavenly tribulation? How are you going to resist the heavenly tribulation? There are skeletons demons outside. I'm afraid it won't be easy to pass the heavenly tribulation. Gao Qingqing said worriedly. The heavenly tribulation's power was astonishing. If there were no Bone Devil tribesmen around, the few of them should have some confidence in resisting the heavenly tribulation. After all, she also knew that Yang Hanwu had a lot of trump cards and several supreme treasures. With those supreme treasures, there was an 80% chance of success in resisting the heavenly tribulation. However, it was different here. There were skeletons demons. They were a big problem. It's my battle spirit. Ingxiao Rui successfully merged with the main body and reached the venerable realm. Because it's my battle spirit and we're in the ancient domain, it attracted the heavenly tribulation. Yang Hanwu explained. If they were in the heavenly domain, Ingxiao Rui's main body wouldn't have attracted the heavenly tribulation because Ingxiao Rui's main body was a venerable expert. However, it was different in the ancient domain. Ingxiao Rui had become Yang Hanwu's battle spirit. Therefore, it had to pass the heavenly tribulation again. A venerable realm battle spirit. Gao Qingqing took a deep breath. He had a battle spirit of the venerable realm. In the ancient domain, there weren't many people who could be his opponent. Even if the battle spirit's strength was suppressed by the laws, it was still very powerful. However, there was a problem. Yang Hongwu's cultivation wasn't very high. He was only at the second level of the Dao Foundation realm. There was a huge gap between him and the venerable realm. If Yang Hanwu used the battle spirit possession, would his body be able to support such a huge power? Could his mental energy cultivation wasn't able to withstand the heavenly tribulation? These were all difficult problems. Even if he could use the battle spirit possession, it wouldn't last for too long. Every time he used the battle spirit possession, there would be considerable repercussions. If there were no restrictions, wouldn't Yang Hanwu was Wu Wei Yu Wu Wei Zi? Congratulations. Hua Wuying said. However, the problem now is how to deal with the Bone Devil tribulations. It was impossible for him to evade it. There was no way to avoid the heavenly tribulation. There was no way to hide from it. Yang Hanwu looked at the Bone Devil race in the distance. Suddenly, a light flashed in his mind. He had an idea. I have an idea. Yang Hanwu said with a smile. What idea? The girls asked in unison. Go to the Bone Village to undergo the heavenly tribulation. Yang Hanwu said. That won't do. It's too dangerous. Isn't it the same as throwing away your life? Yang Hanwu said. Everyone rejected his idea. If Hong Qiao hadn't been in seclusion in the Zhenlong world, she would have been the most opposed. Even if Hong Qiao wasn't here, the other girls were also against it. Going to the Bone Village to undergo the heavenly tribulation was too dangerous. Don't get too excited. Listen to me first. Yang Hanwu said with a smile. He had expected their fierce opposition. I have my reasons for thinking this way. Yang Hanwu said. What's the reason? Gao Qingqing asked. There are 3 benefits. Yang Hanwu said. There are other benefits? Hua Qianxue and the others couldn't think of any benefits. Think about it. The Bone Village is a stronghold of the Bone Devil race. Moreover, it's a very important stronghold. If I go to the Bone Village to undergo the heavenly tribulation, what will they do? Yang Hanwu asked. They definitely won't let me destroy their stronghold. Therefore, they will definitely help me resist the heavenly tribulation. That's the first reason. The second reason is that the heavenly tribulation is very powerful. It's a venerable tribulation. Not many people can resist it. If we resist it ourselves, although we can resist it, it will consume a lot of energy. If they help me resist the heavenly tribulation, it will be a great blow to the Bone Village. That's right. The girls nodded. This was indeed the truth. Thirdly, once I successfully cross tribulation, I won't consume too much energy. I can directly possess my body with a battle spirit and my strength will instantly rise. With a venerable battle spirit possessing my body, my strength will reach the venerable realm in a short period of time. Like this, no one will be my match and I'll be able to easily kill my way out of the skeletal manor. Like this, the problem of us being trapped in the skeletal manor will be solved. No, this is still not possible. Although Yang Hongwu's idea sounded good, Hua Qinshue still shook her head. Although what you said is good, it's too idealistic. If you go to the Bone Village to undergo the heavenly tribulation, it will be a great threat to the Bone Village. However, what if they don't help you resist the heavenly tribulation and directly kill you? Yes, this problem must be considered. Yi Shuai nodded in agreement. Once the person undergoing the heavenly tribulation was killed, the heavenly tribulation would disappear. Of course, this was before the heavenly tribulation descended. You don't have to worry about this. The moment the heavenly tribulation descends, I will enter the Bone Village. Yan Hanwu said. He was still confident about this point. Have you forgotten that I have the art of disguise? Once I change my appearance, it won't be easy to find me. If it wasn't for the chaos, it wouldn't be easy to not be seen through. However, the heavenly tribulation had descended and the entire Bone Village was in chaos. In this way, the possibility of being seen through once the art of disguise was greatly reduced. Even if this problem is solved, what if they don't resist the heavenly tribulation at the cost of the Bone Village? Hua Qinshue asked again. No, they will definitely resist. Yang Hanwu said with certainty. Moreover, if we don't use this method, do you have any other better way? Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, all the girls fell silent. Indeed, this was the best way. There was no other better way to resist the heavenly tribulation and get through this difficult situation. After seeing that the girls were silent, Yang Hongwu said, well, it's settled. Now, you all enter my Shenlong world. After I successfully pass the heavenly tribulation and escape from the Bone Village, I will let you out. The girls nodded in agreement. Chapter 561. Creating chaos. After everything was done, Yang Hanwu began to prepare for his tribulation. Yang Hanwu certainly wouldn't use battle spirit possession at this time. Battle spirit possession consumed a tremendous amount of energy. Moreover, Ying Xiaorui had already reached the venerable realm. Using battle spirit possession would allow her cultivation to rise to the second level of the venerable realm. But, the relative consumption would be even more terrifying. In his current situation, he estimated that he would be able to last for half a quarter of an hour, or even less. Therefore, under such circumstances, he couldn't use the battle spirit possession before the tribulation. He had to use it after the tribulation to escape from the Bone Village. Yang Hanwu first changed his appearance to that of the Bone Devil race. This way, he could find an opportunity to blend in with the Bone Devil race. Then, Yang Hanwu used the aura concealing talisman to restrain his aura. This way, he wouldn't become a big target. The tribulation clouds in the sky released a terrifying pressure. It didn't directly lock onto a person, but targeted the entire area. Within 100 feet radius of the person undergoing the tribulation, there would be the pressure of the heavenly tribulation. Anyone who entered the 100 feet radius would be the target of the heavenly tribulation. Therefore, no one dared to enter the attack range of the heavenly tribulation. After Yang Hanwu finished his preparations, he began to move. He quickly rushed towards the direction of the Bone Devil race. He wanted to mix in with them first. After that, he would find an opportunity to enter the Bone Village. After 10 breaths, Yang Hanwu found an opportunity and used the Dragon Soaring 9 Heavens movement technique. He turned into a dragon shadow and quickly entered the crowd. Not good, someone has sneaked in. A Bone Devil race member shouted. Investigate, find out who has sneaked in. Could it be the person undergoing the tribulation? Someone said. Heavens, we've entered the attack range of the heavenly tribulation. At this time, everyone's expression changed. the heavenly tribulation was in existence that they couldn't resist. It was the heavenly tribulation of the venerable realm. Once they were locked on by the heavenly tribulation, they would die. Run! Yang Hanwu had an idea and shouted, "The heavenly tribulation is not something we can resist. Once the heavenly tribulation descends, we will all die." With this shout, everyone within the range of the heavenly tribulation began to run frantically. No one wanted to fall into the range of the heavenly tribulation and become its target. The corner of Yang Hongwu's mouth raised into a smile. This was exactly what he wanted to see. However, this place was still quite far from the skeleton's village. It wouldn't be easy to sneak into the village. In that case, let's add fuel to the fire. Everyone, run towards the manor. The patriarch and the others are there, and there's also a powerful formation that can withstand the bombardment of the heavenly tribulation. Yang Hanwu once again shouted at the top of his lungs. Hearing this voice, everyone immediately found the direction. That was right. The manor was protected by a formation, and there was also the patriarch and the elders. They were powerful, and they also had powerful demonic treasures that could withstand the attacks of the heavenly tribulation. Entering the manor was undoubtedly the safest place. All of a sudden, all of the Bone Devil clansmen took to their heels and madly ran towards the manor. When the leader saw this scene, he was furious and shouted, "Stop, all of you stop! I'll kill whoever dares to run into the manor." Crack! He slapped out his palm, and a person running towards the manor was killed by him. Yang Hanwu couldn't help but sneer when he saw all this. They were courting death. At this time, they still dared to use such a method. Under the heavenly tribulation, they were not strong enough. No one was willing to die. If they ran into the manor, they would have a chance to live. The leader's actions were undoubtedly adding fuel to the fire, completely infuriating these people. Yang Hanwu planned to add more firewood to make the fire burn even brighter. However, what surprised Yang Hanwu was that before he could say anything, someone helped him do all of this. "Bastard, Gu Daniu, I've long found you an eyesore. You don't want us to run into the manor because you want us to die here under the heavenly tribulation, right? You have the protection of the patriarch's treasure, so the heavenly tribulation can't kill you. However, it can kill us. Everyone, let's kill him together, then run into the manor." A voice loudly shouted. At this time, everyone's eyes turned red. Whoever dared to stop them and not give them a chance to live, they would kill them. In an instant, the bone demons who were stopped rushed towards Gu Daniu in an aggressive manner. "Gu Daniu, you're talking nonsense. You want to kill with a borrowed knife. Everyone, don't believe him." Gu Daniu loudly shouted. However, why would they listen to him? They were already enraged. It was Gu Daniu who didn't let them enter the manor. These words were not wrong. Earlier, they even heard his threat. If anyone dared to run into the manor, he would kill them. Therefore, no one believed him. "Kill! Kill him! Kill Gu Daniu!" At this time, Yang Hanwu loudly shouted. He took the lead and rushed towards Gu Daniu. Gu Daniu's strength was indeed very good. Not many people present were a match for him. If they didn't take action, it would take a long time to kill him. Therefore, Yang Hanwu took action. The true dragon blade flashed and the true dragon blade cut into his abdomen. Although Yang Hanwu ran towards Gu Daniu, there were other people around. Moreover, Yang Hanwu used the aura concealing talisman. Gu Daniu couldn't sense Yang Hanwu's aura at all. Therefore, Gu Daniu was in a tragic situation. With his strength, even if Yang Hanwu fought him head-on, it wouldn't be easy for him to kill him. After all, he was a level 5 Divine Realm expert. However, Yang Hanwu launched a sneak attack, and the true dragon blade was a divine weapon. Therefore, Gu Daniu couldn't block it at all, and his life was taken away with just one slash. After killing Gu Daniu, Yang Hanwu mixed with the other Bone Devil clan members and rushed towards the skeleton's manor. The guards of the skeleton's manor were stunned when they saw this scene. However, they didn't dare to stop them. They didn't dare to anger the crowd. Moreover, there were their brothers and friends among these people. Why would they stop them? They even took the initiative to activate the array. At this moment, everyone entered the skeleton's manor. The terrifying aura of the heavenly tribulation shrouded the entire skeleton's manor. Gu Wanhuan, Gu Tiangao, and the Supreme Elder Gu Yongsheng also noticed this. Everyone's face sank. The person undergoing the heavenly tribulation had entered the manor. He planned to use the array to resist the heavenly tribulation. Chapter 562. Might and Influence Clan Leader, Grand Elder, all the elders have arrived. Gu Wanhuan had already called all the elders over. They knew who was going through the tribulation when they saw who wasn't here. However, they were surprised to see that none of the fourth step elders were going through the tribulation. This meant that an outsider had broken in. Damn it, someone broke in and is going through the tribulation in our bone village. They're obviously targeting us. Gu Wanhuan was furious. I think it's most likely someone from the 4 great immoral mansions. We must find that person and kill him in the shortest amount of time possible. Great Elder Gu Yongsheng said coldly, otherwise, it'll be a great loss for our Bone Devil clan. That's right, we can't afford such a loss. Gu Wanhuan nodded, gather everyone and investigate. However, would Yang Hanwu give them the chance? Of course not. Yang Hanwu had used a disguise technique and a concealing talisman. He would find a place to hide like an ordinary person. By the time they found him, the tribulation would have arrived. No one could attack him during the tribulation. They had to wait for the tribulation to pass. Moreover, they had to help him resist the tribulation. Time passed quickly. The tribulation was about to descend. Did you find him? No, Patriarch, not yet. Trash, you trash. The tribulation is about to descend. Hurry up and find him. Gu Wanhuan was furious. Everyone had gathered and searched, but they still couldn't find the person who was going through the tribulation. Gu Tiangao and his son smiled. It was Gu Wanhuan's fault as the Patriarch. He didn't even know that someone had intruded in the clan, and it was a 4th step Venerable Ascension tribulation expert. Dozens of breaths passed. Yang Hongwu's lips curled into a smile. The heavenly tribulation had arrived. Let's go harder. Boom! Boom! Terrifying thunder roared. In the sky, lightning flashed. Terrifying electric arcs flashed continuously. Crack! With a loud bang, a huge bolt of lightning struck down. This huge bolt of lightning landed on the defensive formation of the skeletal village. A white light appeared on the formation and blocked the first bolt of lightning. The heavenly tribulation seemed to be enraged. One after another, they descended. Crack! Crack! After a few more strikes, the outer defensive formation shattered. Not good, the outer formation won't be able to hold on for much longer. Another elder shouted. Patriarch, we have to resist the heavenly tribulation and reinforce the formation. Reinforce the formation. Bone Painting Soul said through gritted teeth. He hated the person who was hiding in the villa and secretly undergoing the tribulation. That damned bastard. Once the heavenly tribulation is over, I will tear him into pieces. The heavenly tribulation was not that easy to pass. Even if they helped him block it, the last heavenly tribulation was the inner demon tribulation. After the inner demon tribulation was the reward of the heavenly Tao, which was the opening of the gate to the heavenly domain. He would definitely show up. At that time, he would tear that guy into pieces and make sure that he would never be able to reincarnate. In fact, they did not know that the person undergoing the tribulation was not worried about ascending to the heavenly domain. As for the heavenly Tao's reward, it would not descend. Because the person undergoing the tribulation was a combat true spirit, a second-level venerable realm combat true spirit. There was another problem. After the tribulation, Yang Hanwu would be possessed by the combat spirit and his strength would be at the second level of the venerable realm. No one would be able to resist him. Rumble! Rumble! the heavenly tribulation struck down crazily. All the elders of the skeletal demon clan had to take out their treasures to resist the terrifying heavenly tribulation in order to protect the skeletal village. There was something important in the skeletal village that was the key to the rise of the skeletal demon clan. Even if all the elders died, they could not let that thing be damaged. Therefore, they were doing their best to resist the heavenly tribulation. However, the heavenly tribulation was not as simple as they thought. The heavenly tribulation did not even touch the hair of the person undergoing the tribulation. There were so many people within the range of the heavenly tribulation, which made the heavenly tribulation even more violent. After more than 10 heavenly tribulation strikes, the heavenly tribulation stopped. However, the heavenly tribulation clouds in the sky did not disperse. Instead, it continued to condense and become stronger. Its aura became more and more terrifying, as if it was going to destroy the entire skeletal village. Rumble! A huge heavenly tribulation lightning struck down. It was so thick that it would take 2 people to wrap their arms around it. The entire sky was illuminated. It was as if a huge axe had appeared in the sky and split the heavens and earth apart. Bang! The terrifying power of the tribulation lightning caused a huge impact, causing the formation to shatter. All the elders who were resisting the tribulation lightning were injured. One of the weaker elders was killed by this terrifying power. His aura was gone, and he died because his cultivation level was cut off. There is still the last heavenly tribulation. The tribulation clouds of Son of the Sky were still brewing. A total of 26 tribulation bolts had already passed. 9 was the extreme number, so this tribulation should be the 39th tribulation. However, since 26 bolts had already passed, there was only 1 left. The power of the last heavenly tribulation would be more terrifying than the previous one. Yang Hanwu looked at the last heavenly tribulation and felt pressured. This heavenly tribulation was the key. It would contain the inner demon tribulation. If the inner demon was triggered, it would be very troublesome. He had to suppress it. For Yang Hanwu, no matter how powerful the heavenly tribulation was, he was not too worried. The main thing was the inner demon tribulation, which was difficult to deal with. Once the inner demon tribulation erupted, it would trigger the life and death nether curse and the devil's hand. Yang Hanwu did not want to become a devil and lose himself. Therefore, Yang Hanwu's biggest test was the inner demon tribulation. Kacha! Finally, the lightning tribulation that had accumulated to its limit descended. Bone Painting Soul took out something. In order to block the final lightning tribulation, he spared no expense. It was a huge black umbrella, the Bone Demon Umbrella. The Bone Demon Umbrella flew out and spun as it grew bigger. It seemed to be able to cover the sky and the sun, covering the entire Bone Village within a radius of 100 miles. Boom! The huge heavenly tribulation was like a terrifying heavenly tribulation lightning dragon. It bombarded the umbrella. The whole world shook as if there was a huge earthquake. He blocked it, he blocked it. Everyone cheered. Long live the Patriarch! Long live the Patriarch! Pfft! Gu Huanhuan blocked the last heavenly tribulation, but he could not suppress his injuries. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face was as pale as paper. Patriarch! Everyone was worried. Seeing him spit out blood, they hurried to greet him. Chapter 563. Unstoppable, the inner demon is here. Yang Hanwu took a deep breath and prepared himself for the final tribulation, the tribulation of the inner demon. Use the Soul-Refining Heart Sutra and the 1,000 Buddhas Demon Exterminating Art. Yang Hanwu heard Bauer's voice. Yang Hanwu was overjoyed. The Soul-Refining Heart Sutra was indeed able to stabilize his mind, while the 1,000 Buddhas Demon Exterminating Art was a Buddhist art that could exterminate demons. It was the nemesis of demons. Guard your mind and activate the Soul-Refining Heart Sutra. Use the 1,000 Buddhas Demon Exterminating Art when the time comes. Remember, don't trust anything, and keep your heart as firm as a rock. Bauer's voice disappeared. Yang Hanwu closed his eyes and activated the Soul-Refining Heart Sutra to its maximum potential. The force of the tribulation landed on Yang Hongwu's body. Yang Hongwu gradually refined the force to temper his flesh. High up in the 9 heavens, Yang Hongwu stood in front of an enormous heaven palace. He waved his hand and slashed the heaven palace in half. The entire heaven palace turned into nothing. The heavens and earth collapsed. Even the deities and Buddhas knelt before his feet. An enormous emperor's throne appeared in front of him. It was the glory of a 9 heavens supreme. Once he sat on it, he would be the real ruler of the 9 heavens, the master of the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Step by step, Yang Hongwu slowly walked up. When Yang Hongwu arrived at the emperor's throne and sat on it, his heart skipped a beat. The 9 heavens and 10 lands were all under his control. Demons, they're all demons, they're all demons. Yang Hongwu's eyes sprang open. 1,000 Buddha's demon exterminating art. Yang Hongwu spread his hands. Several enormous Buddhas appeared, each emitting a golden glow and uttering a lotus with a pair of furious eyes. The emperor's throne of the 9 heavens and 10 lands disappeared. The demons kept crying out in agony. You can't kill me, you can't kill me. Bang! With a loud bang, a huge shadow appeared in the void. That huge shadow condensed into a person who looked exactly like Yang Hongwu. I am you, and you are me. You can't kill me unless you kill yourself. That person's entire body was pitch black. Dense demonic energy surged from his body, as if he was the primogenitor of all devils above the 9 heavens. He was everywhere, undying and indestructible, eternal in heaven and earth. Is that so? Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light. Gods and devils are nothing more than fleeting clouds. Only my true self is eternal. The true dragon is eternal. In the 9 heavens and 10 earths, only I am eternal. Demon-killing finger. A large golden finger pierced through the void. Rumble. It swept away all obstacles and was unstoppable. Everything was annihilated. Wherever the giant golden finger passed, everything was shattered, turning into nothingness, disappearing before their eyes. No! Impossible! How could you have comprehended such a terrifying finger technique? The inner demon was terrified to the extreme. He shouted, I know your Jingshan finger. I know it too. This isn't Jingshan finger. This isn't. Why? Why is there demon-killing finger? The inner demon roared unwillingly. His face was ferocious and his demonic energy surged to the sky, but he still couldn't resist the golden demon-killing finger. Once the demon-killing finger was used, there would be no more demons in the world. The moment Yang Hongwu destroyed the heart demon, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile and his divine sense returned to his body. He opened his eyes. He had succeeded. He had successfully passed the tribulation. It turned out that his Jingshan finger had an extension, the demon-killing finger. If it weren't for this tribulation, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have been able to comprehend the evolution of the Jingshan finger and the demon-killing finger. My cultivation has broken through to the 3rd level of the Tao pedestal realm. What surprised Yang Hongwu was that his cultivation had increased again. After passing the inner demon tribulation, his cultivation had increased to the 3rd level of the Tao pedestal realm. This was a pleasant surprise. You surprised me. Very good. Sher Bauer's voice sounded in Yang Hongwu's mind. Sher Bauer actually praised and said such words. Yang Hongwu was really flattered. Just as he was about to reply, Yang Hongwu heard a shout in his ear. Here! The person undergoing the tribulation is here. Yang Hongwu got up and turned his head. Good heavens, there was a dense mass of people. They were all from the Bone Demon clan. Are they finally here? Yang Hongwu muttered to himself. Since they were here, it was time for him to show his might. It's you! How is this possible? You're just a 3rd level Tao pedestal realm cultivator. How can you trigger the tribulation? Seeing Yang Hongwu, Bone Huanwen was in disbelief. Where are your companions? He clearly didn't believe that it was Yang Hongwu, but that he had companions. Ha! Do you want to see my companions? Yang Hanwu laughed. This guy's status was very high. Even his tone was arrogant. If he wasn't the Bone Demon Clan's patriarch, then he was an elder. I'll tell you the truth. I have no companions. The person undergoing the tribulation is me. I have to thank you. If it weren't for you, I might not have been able to safely pass the tribulation. Yang Hanwu laughed wildly. In order to repay you, I've decided to kill all of you. Arrogant. A mere Dao pedestal realm dares to be so arrogant? Men, capture him. Remember, capture him alive. Bone Huanhuan snorted coldly. Yes, Patriarch. Several Bone Demon clansmen nodded in response. Yang Hanwu narrowed his eyes. If you don't believe me, then I'll show you how powerful I am. Battle Spirit Possession. Yang Hanwu activated the Battle Spirit Possession. Of course, he also activated the Golden Dragon War Body, the 9 transformations of the Profound Dragon, and so on. He didn't hold back at all. His battle strength had reached its peak. At this moment, Yang Hanwu's aura had reached the 2nd level of the Exalt Realm. Before those demons could even get close, they were blown away by his terrifying aura. Even Bone Huanhuan and the others couldn't resist this terrifying aura. Their expressions changed. This is the Exalt Realm? Gu Yongshan cried out when he saw Yang Hanwu's aura. He had been a 4th step Exalt for several hundred years. He hadn't been able to break through, but he had touched the threshold of the Exalt Realm. However, he didn't have the courage to break through. He didn't have the slightest confidence. The heavenly tribulation was extremely dangerous. The first lightning tribulation could be resisted by others, but the last one was impossible. Only the person undergoing the tribulation could resist it. Once they failed, they would be turned into ashes, never to be reincarnated. There was no chance. The difference between 4th step Exalts and Exalts was huge. They couldn't be compared. Even 10,000 4th step Exalts wouldn't be a match for a true Exalt. This is impossible. How can you be Exalt? It's not easy for Exalts to break through the laws of this world. Gu Yongshan cried out. Chapter 564. Demon Bone. The 1000 Buddha ruler was swung out, and suddenly, a golden light shone. The entire space was illuminated by the golden light, and one Buddha after another appeared. These Buddhas and Arhats were all fierce and ferocious as they charged towards the Bone Devil clansmen. A Buddhist cultivation technique. Gu Yongshan shouted, "Didn't Buddhism disappear 100,000 years ago? How did you obtain a Buddhist inheritance?" Buddhist cultivation techniques were the nemesis of demons. Although the Bone Devil clansmen weren't true demons, they still had the bloodline of demons. That was why they were called the Bone Devil race. Buddhist cultivation techniques had a restraining effect on all kinds of devils. 1000 Buddha Tathagata, great freedom and light. Yang Hanwu chanted and his body erupted with light as if he had turned into Buddha Tathagata. Ah! All the Bone Devil clansmen screamed as they were illuminated by the aura of light. Black chi spread out from their bodies as their blood boiled. Some of the weaker Bone Devil clansmen had bloody holes appear on their bodies and died. Even Gu Huanhuan and the others felt their blood surge uncontrollably. Damn it! Attack together and kill him. Gu Huanhuan's expression changed. He knew they were in trouble now. They had to kill him or everyone would die. Yang Hanwu wouldn't give them a chance. The difference in strength was too great. He was at the 2nd level of the Exalt Realm, but he only had 15 minutes. He couldn't hold on for long. He would kill as many as he could. Yang Hanwu did not intend to deal with those weak fellows and small fries. His focus was on the powerful elders. Of course, there was also the patriarch, Gu Huanhuan. He had to be killed. In the distance, Yang Hanwu saw the bald old man. The bald old man saw him charging towards Gu Huanhuan but didn't come over. Yang Hanwu knew that this was an internal conflict. The two of them didn't get along. If he killed Gu Huanhuan, he would have a huge advantage. Grand Elder, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and attack. At this time, Yang Hanwu had an idea and said, once I kill Bone Painting Soul and Grand Elder, you will be the patriarch and the ruler of the Bone Devil race. Gu Yongsheng, who was about to besiege Yang Hanwu, immediately glared at Gu Tiangao. It's you. I didn't expect you to betray Lord Devil God and collude with outsiders to deal with your own kind. You deserve to die. The other elders also came back to their senses. There must be a traitor helping them. Otherwise, how could they break into the skeleton's village so easily? The Bone Human Village's formation restrictions, coupled with the tight security, was like an iron bucket. There was no way to enter, unless there was help from a traitor. Gu Tiangao's expression changed drastically when he heard that. He cursed inwardly. This was not good. Supreme Elder, you've misunderstood. That damned human is trying to drive a wedge between us in order to divide us. Gu Tiangao said loudly, if you listen to him and attack me, then we will all die here. Although I don't like Bone Painting Soul and am the patriarch, I disdain using such methods. I will not collude with outsiders to betray Lord Devil God. Yang Hanwu took advantage of this opportunity to use his strongest attack, the Thousand Buddha Ruler. He heavily struck Bone Painting Soul's chest, killing him before he could even resist. Gap, this was the gap. The gap between a second layer Venerable and a fourth step Venerable was like heaven and earth. There was no way to resist. Gu Tiangao, you're too slow. I've already killed Bone Painting Soul, but you're still not doing anything. Are you not going to do anything? Yang Hanwu cut off Bone Painting Soul's head and threw it to the side, shouting at Gu Tiangao. Bastard, damned bastard, Lord Devil God will not forgive you. Even if my soul disperses and I can never reincarnate, I will first kill you, the bastard who betrayed Lord Devil God. Gu Yongsheng, who was still hesitating, was completely enraged. A terrifying aura burst out. The skinny old man suddenly erupted, returning to his youthful appearance. His aura was violent, and his eyes were like a fierce tiger. He held a bone staff with both hands and smashed it at Gu Tiangao. Damned old bastard, you fell for his trick. Gu Tiangao was so angry that his nose was crooked. This old bastard couldn't differentiate between friend and foe. He was courting death. This time, the entire Bone Devil race was finished. The Bone Devil race will be destroyed in your hands. You still dare to quibble? Even if you talk nonsense, you'll still die. Gu Yongsheng's body swelled, and his aura rose again. Self-destruct, damned old bastard, you're actually self-destructing. Gu Yongsheng was also a ruthless person. He knew his own strength. Even if he self-detonated, it was absolutely impossible for him to injure a venerable expert. However, it was different for Gu Tiangao. Gu Tiangao's strength was only at the fourth step of the Venerable Realm. He was far from reaching the Venerable Realm. Gu Yongsheng's body instantly swelled up and then exploded. The terrifying power was like a huge nuclear explosion. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and a huge mushroom cloud rose into the sky. Yang Hanwu, who was not far away, was cursing in his heart. This old bastard had actually self-destructed. Wasn't he just looking for trouble? At this moment, Yang Hanwu couldn't care less. He flew out madly, trying to avoid the impact of this terrifying energy. He pushed his speed to the limit. In a breath's time, he was hundreds of feet away. Even so, Yang Hanwu still suffered quite a bit of impact. However, this explosion had killed all the Bone Devil experts present. In such a small space, there were so many people. With such a terrifying explosion, who could withstand it? The ground shook, as if a huge earthquake had occurred. Boom! Suddenly, a huge hole appeared in front of Yang Hanwu. Yang Hanwu knew that things weren't good. If this explosion blew up the Earth Spirit Palace, it wouldn't be good. If the Earth Spirit Palace was exposed, Yang Hanwu wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. However, when Yang Hanwu saw the huge crack, he heaved a sigh of relief. It wasn't the Earth Spirit Palace. However, when he took a closer look, Yang Hongwu's eyes were wide open. There was a treasure room in the crack. Clearly, this was the place where the Bone Devil race hid their treasures. He didn't expect the treasure room to be blown up. What good luck! Yang Hongwu was extremely excited. His luck was actually so good. The Bone Devil race's experts were all dead, and the treasury was even blown up. Yang Hongwu quickly walked in. He estimated that he could still maintain his supremacy realm for a few dozen breaths. That was enough for him to leave. Yang Hongwu entered the treasure room quickly. Everything that could be taken away from the room was kept in Yang Hongwu's storage ring. Chapter 565. The so-called reinforcements. Good heavens, what is this thing? It's so powerful. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. Even through the crystal box, Yang Hongwu could feel the terrifying power of the bone. It was a huge blue bone that looked like a human spine. However, human bones were not so huge. This is the demon bone, Bauer said. Demon bone? Yes, it should be the demon bone of an ancient demon god. The bone demons occupied this place because of this demon bone. Bauer said, if I'm not wrong, there should be a pure yan eye under the crystal box. Pure yan eye? Yang Hongwu was surprised. He had never heard of the pure yan eye. What's the use of the pure yan eye? The pure yan eye can suppress the demon bone. Bauer continued, the god fiend's spine contains a massive amount of energy, which is not something that ordinary people can control. Only the eye of pure yan can suppress it. Otherwise, everyone will lose their rationality and become the god fiend's slave. You mean, I can't take the demon bone away now? Yes, you can take the pure yan eye with you, Bauer said. As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Hongwu saw the crystal box explode. The demon bone flew out and shot toward Yang Hongwu at lightning speed. Yang Hongwu was shocked. He wanted to dodge, but found that he couldn't move. His right hand released a burst of demon chi that resonated with the demon bone. Whoosh! In an instant, the demonic bone rushed into Yang Hongwu's body. Yang Hongwu felt a terrifying power pouring into his body. His body was about to explode. If it weren't for the fact that his body had been greatly improved and became a fake Luli, he would have exploded and died. After a few breaths, Yang Hongwu recovered. A bead appeared in his hand, emitting a warm energy. Although it had only been a few breaths, Yang Hongwu felt as if half a century had passed. That kind of pain was really unbearable. The demonic bone entered my body and fused with me. Yang Hongwu clearly felt that after the demonic bone entered his body, it merged with the vertebrae in his body and became one with his spine. I saw it. Bauer nodded and said, you should leave this place as soon as possible. Your battle spirit possession is about to end. The bone demon race has already caught up. If you don't leave now, it will be too late. Yang Hongwu looked over and saw that it was indeed the case. Under the lead of the wretched fatty, the Bone Devil clansmen were chasing after them. That little fatty was none other than Gu Tiangao's grandson. Who would have thought that this Bone Devil clan would actually be controlled by that brat? Although Yang Hongwu wanted to kill all the Bone Demon clansmen, he knew that this was impossible. The battle spirit possession's effect was about to end. I'll let you go this time. Next time, it will be your doomsday. After Yang Hongwu finished speaking, he displayed the dragon soaring 9 heavens movement technique and turned into a golden dragon. He issued a dragon roar and soared into the sky. Damn it, he escaped. Should we chase after him? A Bone Demon clansman looked at the wretched fatty and said. No need, we can't catch up. The little fatty wasn't stupid. His strength was far from being a match for the Bone Demon clansmen. If he chased after them, wouldn't he just be courting death? After a dozen breaths, Yang Hongwu left the Bone Village. At this time, the battle spirit possession's effect had also ended. Yang Hongwu suddenly felt weak all over. He didn't even have a trace of strength. He didn't even want to walk. Taking a deep breath, Yang Hanwu gathered a trace of strength and released Hua Qinshui and the other girls from the Zhenlong world. Yang Hanwu, how are you? Are you alright? Seeing Yang Hanwu's weak appearance, Hua Qinshui was very worried. She immediately supported him. Yang Hanwu shook his head and said, I'm fine, you don't need to worry too much. It's just that I consumed a lot of energy. Let's quickly leave this place. Otherwise, I'm afraid that the Bone Demon clansmen will chase after us. All right. Hua Qinshui nodded. Gao Qingqing waved her hand and a flying boat appeared. Yang Hanwu was surprised. Seeing Yang Hanwu's surprised expression, Gao Qingqing was very proud of herself and said, although my flying boat is not as powerful as senior sister Hai's Jade War Chariot, its speed is very fast. Let's go, we'll leave this place. Yang Hanwu nodded. Having a flying boat was naturally good. This flying boat was indeed not simple. Yang Hanwu had read a lot of books from Hong Qiao. Although he didn't know much about ancient domain, he still knew a lot about it. Flying boat was one of the transportation tools in ancient domain. Its speed was very fast. It was even faster than some flying beasts. After going through a special transformation, the flying boat could also be used as a weapon. However, the cost of building a flying boat was also very high. The consumption was also huge. Ordinary people simply couldn't afford to use it. In other words, the flying boat in ancient domain was like a private jet on Earth. This kind of thing could only be used by rich people. The flying boat's speed was as fast as it was recorded in the books. It was even faster than the Jade War Chariot. There are disciples of Tanny Immortal Mansion stationed there. Let's go and take a look. Gao Qingqing controlled the flying boat and prepared to fly towards the camp. Wait. Yang Hanwu stopped her. In fact, this place was still within the territory of the Bone Village. They were so close to the Bone Village. When Gao Qingqing sent out a distress signal, the people here didn't respond. This made Yang Hanwu feel strange. What's wrong? Junior brother Yang, is there a problem? Gao Qingqing didn't doubt Yang Hanwu's words at all. Ever since she met Yang Hanwu, he had never made a mistake. Since he stopped her, he must have his reasons. Don't you feel strange? We sent out a distress signal before, but we didn't receive any help at all. We couldn't even get through to the communication jade talisman. Yang Hanwu said. Right, I almost forgot. Gao Qingqing patted her head. Seems like there's something wrong with these guys. So, it's not suitable for us to go there openly. I think we should sneak in and see what's going on. Yang Hanwu said. Okay. Gao Qingqing nodded. I want to see what's going on. Chapter 566. Gao Qingqing's enemy. They got off the flying boat and used aura concealment talismans to secretly rush toward the base. In order to not expose themselves, everyone else had entered the Zhenlong world. Only Yang Hanwu, Gao Qingqing, and Yi Shuai remained as bodyguards. The three of them snuck in. It's that vixen Gu Shaoxian. Gao Qingqing's expression became unsightly when she saw one of the women. What? You don't get along with her? Yang Hanwu asked softly. Based on how she was gnashing her teeth, that was probably the case. Women, especially beautiful women, didn't see eye to eye with each other. She's my master's eldest disciple. Gao Qingqing said, she didn't get along with me as soon as I entered the sect. She's always been against me. Yang Hanwu understood when he heard that. She was jealous. Gao Qingqing would definitely receive special care and nurturing after entering the sect. What would the other disciples under her master think? Especially Gu Shaoxian, who was the eldest senior sister, she felt even more uncomfortable. She was the eldest senior sister, but all the resources had been transferred from her to Gao Qingqing. How could she not be jealous? It was normal for conflicts to arise. It would be even more normal if another man was pestering her. Eldest senior sister, cheers. A female disciple raised her cup. Cheers. Gu Shaoxian was all smiles. Gao Qingqing is nothing. She's just a country bumpkin from the lower realm. Why does Master value her so much? Even the heavenly spirit grand formation has to be given to her. That disciple put down her cup after drinking the wine and said loudly, "That's right. Why does he have to give all the resources to her? He even gave her the spirit cleansing pill that I worked so hard to prepare. Why?" Another disciple added. Moreover, she actually wants to steal eldest senior sister's position as the successor of Heavenly Spirit Peak. How hateful. What's laughable is that he wants us to save her, and go to the skeletal village to save her. Don't tell me that our lives aren't lives, and she's more valuable than us? Yeah, why should he send us to our deaths? Don't worry, it's the same even if we don't go to the skeletal village. The skeletal village is filled with danger, and only death awaits us if we enter. Even an elder of the fourth step Martial Highness realm died there, so how could we possibly save anyone? We'll rest for today and return to the sect. At that time, we'll just say that she died in the skeletal village. Even if Master is angry, he won't do anything to us. Gu Shaoxian looked at the others and said, "As for the rest, don't say anything. Do you hear me? I'll listen to eldest senior sister." Gao Qingqing trembled all over when she heard that. She wanted to rush out. I wonder how senior brother Tianxinjiu is doing. I heard that he also went to the Great Snow Mountain Lotus Secret Realm. A female disciple said. That slut Gao Qingqing also went to Snowy Mountain and entered the Lotus Secret Realm. She sent out a distress signal from the skeletal village. Could it be that senior brother Tianxinjiu also entered the skeletal village? A female disciple outside the forest worriedly said. Impossible, how could senior brother Tianxinjiu take the risk to enter the skeletal village? Besides, if senior brother Tianxinjiu entered the skeletal village, he could easily come out. With senior brother Tianxinjiu's strength, a mere skeletal village is nothing, said another disciple. On Heavenly Spirit Peak, which was the peak where Gao Qingqing had become a disciple in the Tianyi Immortal Mansion, the majority of the disciples there were female. All of them admired Tianxinjiu. However, Tianxinjiu had a good impression of Gao Qingqing and had been pursuing her. Unfortunately, Gao Qingqing didn't have any feelings for him. These women had developed a kind of blind worship for Tianxinjiu. They didn't know that Tianxinjiu had already died at the hands of Yang Hanwu. Let's go. Yang Hanwu couldn't help shaking his head. This kind of thing was very normal. He had guessed most of it. I'm not willing to let them off so easily, said Gao Qingqing angrily. We have to teach them a lesson. All right, what do you think we should do? Yang Hanwu shrugged. Women were creatures that held grudges. Seeing how angry Gao Qingqing was, Yang Hanwu knew that even if he wanted to stop her, he wouldn't be able to. Lure the Bone Devil race over. Didn't they want to see me die at their hands? Then let them die, said Gao Qingqing. Yang Hanwu smiled bitterly. This was truly too vicious. However, thinking about it, there was nothing strange about it. In this world, the strong preyed on the weak. It was normal for people to try and cheat each other. However, Yang Hanwu didn't want to provoke the Bone Devil race right now. The Bone Devil race's elders and patriarch had died. Could it be that there were no other experts? This wasn't necessarily the case. Although their strength was not bad, it was still somewhat difficult for them to deal with those late Divine Realm and peak Divine Realm warriors. If they angered all the Bone Devil race, it wouldn't be good for them. It's too dangerous. If we don't handle it well, we'll be killed. Yang Hanwu shook his head and said, we have to think of another way. Do you have any ideas? Gao Qingqing looked at Yang Hanwu and said. Yang Hanwu pondered for a moment and said, there's a way. Tell me about it. Gao Qingqing was delighted to hear that. How about this? We'll go back to the Tianyi Immortal Mansion first. They definitely don't know that we've returned. When they come back, they'll definitely tell your master that you've died in the Bone Clan. How do you think your master will deal with them if she hears this? Yan Hanwu said. But it's too easy for them. Gao Qingqing wasn't satisfied. You know, if it weren't for your tricks, I'm afraid we would have died in the Bone Clan. No, we can't let them off so easily. Kacha. Gao Qingqing was so agitated that she stepped on a withered branch and the sound spread out. Gu Shaoxian immediately noticed it. Her face darkened. She condensed her magical power and turned it into a sword light. Rip! The tent was torn apart, and Yang Hongwu's group was exposed in front of Gu Shaoxian and the others. Gao Qingqing, why are you here? Aren't you in the Bone Clan? Gu Shaoxian and the others were surprised when they saw Gao Qingqing. You dare to fake help and send a fake message? Gao Qingqing's face became gloomy. Gu Shaoxian, you said I sent a fake message? Humph, you've been coveting my position for a long time. You wanted to use this opportunity to get rid of me. But you didn't expect that we didn't fall for your trick and didn't break into the Bone Clan. Are you disappointed? Gu Shaoxian looked at Gao Qingqing and said coldly. Chapter 567. Terrifying jealousy. Who would believe that? Am I right, junior sisters? Gu Shaoxian said in a mocking tone. The disciples nodded in agreement. That's right. Who would believe that? Who are you trying to fool? You! Gao Qingqing trembled with anger. Despicable, despicable. Gao Qingqing unsheathed her sword and pointed it at Gu Shaoxian and the others. What? Do you want to kill me? However, I'm afraid that you're not strong enough. All right, I'll kill you to prevent future troubles. Gu Shaoxuan's eyes flickered coldly. Master won't know that I'm going to kill you anyway. I'll just say that you were killed by the demonic dwellers of the Bone Men village. Gu Shaoxuan's strength was not to be underestimated. As the great senior sister of the Tianyi Immortal Mansion's heavenly spirit peak, how could she not have some skills? She moved and her chi burst out. Her body was like a leopard that went berserk. Killing intent surged as she pounced at Gao Qingqing. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. Now that things had developed to this point, he was helpless as well. This Gao Qingqing was simply incapable of accomplishing anything. But who asked him to owe her father in the past? If it wasn't for her father's help, he would have died in the Heavenly Dragon sect. Therefore, Yang Hongwu had to help Gao Qingqing even though he was helpless. As long as she didn't betray him or do anything to him, he would still tolerate her. As the saying goes, a drop of water should be repaid with a spring of water. Gao Jing had done him a favor back then. If he wanted to repay this favor, it would fall on Gao Qingqing. On the path of cultivation, it was important to maintain one's heart. If he gave up on this kindness, he wouldn't be able to reach a higher level in the future. Ishwar. Yang Hongwu's strength had not recovered yet. He could only let Ishwar take action. Ishwar nodded. The zombie battle heavenly diagram in her hand flew out. Zombie drought demons appeared one after another. Ishwar's strength was at the divine realm. Compared to Gu Shaoxian, she was stronger. With the zombie battle heavenly diagram in her hand, Gu Shaoxian was no match for her. Bang! After a few rounds, Gu Shaoxian was beaten back. Her chest was scratched by the drought demon from the zombie war heaven diagram. The wound was burned black by the drought demon's power. Drought zombie, you're a disciple of the Yin Corpse sect. Good. Good for you, Gao Qingqing. You actually colluded with the heterodox sect. You still dare to say that you didn't set a trap for us. You're so vicious. Gu Shaoxian was pushed back and her face turned pale. She looked at the woman in front of her. She knew that she was no match for her at all. Even if everyone attacked her together, they still wouldn't be a match for her. Moreover, there was a man beside Gao Qingqing. The man's cultivation level didn't seem high, but he gave her a very dangerous feeling, which she had never felt before. She had a premonition that this man was much more threatening and terrifying than the woman in front of her. You are the disciple of the Yin Corpse sect. Sister E, help me kill her, Gao Qingqing said to Ishwar. It won't be that easy to kill me. Gu Shaoxian waved her hand, and a ray of light appeared. It was a disk array. As soon as the disk array appeared, it transformed into an array that enveloped Gu Shaoxian. This array was not weak. It was Gu Shaoxuan's life-saving trump card. Gu Shaoxian had been on the verge of death many times, and she had relied on this disk array to survive. This disk array was called the revolving sky defense array. Its defensive power was astonishing. As long as someone's cultivation level wasn't 5 times higher than hers, they wouldn't be able to break the array's defense. Moreover, even if someone's cultivation level was 5 times higher than hers, they might not be able to break the array in a short time. Yi Shuer still wanted to attack, but Yang Hanwu waved his hand and stopped her. "Junior brother Yang, why did you ask Sister Yi to stop?" Gao Qingqing pouted and said unhappily. Yang Hanwu didn't explain much. Instead, he looked at Gao Qingqing and asked, "This array isn't simple. You're also an array master. Can't you see it? This array seems to be the legendary revolving sky defense array. As long as your cultivation level isn't 5 times higher than the person who set it up, all the attacks will be deflected. That's why it's called the revolving sky defense array." Gao Qingqing's attainments in array formations were indeed very high. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been accepted as a disciple by Tianjin. Tianjin was preparing to nurture her into his successor. Not bad. You're right. I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable. Since you recognize my array, then you should know that it's impossible for you to break it with your strength. Humph, Gao Qingqing, you're dead. You dared to collude with outsiders, not to mention those from the demonic path, to deal with me. This time, I'll tell Master everything and have him kill you to clean up the sect, shouted Gu Shaoxian. Yang Hanwu frowned slightly. He looked at her and said, "I say, don't be too arrogant. Although this array is good, it's not without flaws." "What a joke. What flaws does my array have?" "There are only 2 ways to break my array. First, your cultivation level is far higher than mine. Second, you can only find a 7th grade array grandmaster. Only then can you break my array. Apart from these 2, wanting to break my array is simply a pipe dream." Gu Shaoxian was very arrogant, as if she had already defeated Yang Hanwu. This made Yang Hanwu very unhappy. "Oh, Gu Shaoxian, senior sister Gu, you're really powerful. I'm so scared." Gao Qingqing pretended to be very scared and wanted to beg for mercy. "Scared? Now you want to beg for mercy? Impossible, I won't let you go." Gu Shaoxian issued a sharp voice, as if she was a shrew. "Before you came, I was Master's favorite disciple, the most valued disciple. I was also senior brother Tianjin's favorite person. But after you came, everything changed. Master no longer valued me, no longer liked me. She poured all her efforts into you, to nurture you to become her successor. I painstakingly found the array I stone for Master's birthday, to win her favor. But I didn't expect that Master didn't even look at it and gave it to you. Haha, she doesn't care about me at all, she only has you in her eyes, only you, Gao Qingqing, a country bumpkin from the ancient desolate continent. Why? Why does she treat you like this? Why do all the good things belong to you?" Gu Shaoxian shrieked, "Even senior brother Tianjinjiu, who has always liked me, doesn't like me anymore. He's always revolving around you. Whatever you want, he'll try his best to find it and get it. But you're still disdainful. You don't even look at him. Why? Why?" Chapter 568. Bet. Breaking the formation. Gu Shaoxuan's words shook Gao Qingqing's mind. She looked at Gu Shaoxian, and only recovered after a long while. She said to her, "You really hate me that much?" "That's right. I wish I could eat your flesh and drink your blood. I wish I could cut you into 1,000 pieces. This time, I'll tell Master about this matter. I'll tell the leader. I'll let them punish you, a vicious woman who colluded with the evil Dao and murdered her fellow disciples. I'll consign you to eternal damnation," said Gu Shaoxian sternly. Hearing those words, Yang Hanwu sighed and sighed. A woman's heart of jealousy was truly too terrifying. However, sometimes, a man's heart of jealousy was the same. In fact, it was even crazier. Actually, you're wrong. Gao Qingqing looked at her and said, Master is actually very concerned about you. Furthermore, I've never thought of snatching your position as the eldest senior sister. Even more so, I'm not the Heavenly Spirit Peak's Wasp Master. You want to trick me? You think you can trick me? Said Gu Shaoxian coldly. You're dreaming. I won't let you off. Gu Xiaoshuan's craziness shocked even the disciples who were with her. They had never thought that their senior sister's hatred for Gao Qingqing had reached such a level. I say, you're called Gu Shaoxian, right? Yang Hanwu coughed. Don't think that everyone is like you. Who are you? Aren't you Gao Qingqing's lover? No wonder she doesn't like Heavenly God Jiu. So it's because she has a pretty boy. You're her lover, so of course you're speaking for her. Do you think I'm an idiot? I won't believe anything you say. I can sense danger from you. You're even more dangerous than that demoness. You're definitely a demon. Gu Shaoxian sneered. When Master comes, all of you will die. Yang Hanwu almost choked. What kind of logic was this? Fuck, how did he become a demon? Also, Yi Shuer had become a demoness. However, it wasn't wrong to say that Yi Shuer was a demoness. A zombie. Yes, a female zombie. An incomparably beautiful female zombie. And a living female zombie who had obtained the zombie emperor's inheritance. Her future was limitless. As for Gao Qingqing's master, if Tianjin was really that unreasonable, then he could only count himself unlucky. However, in Yang Hongwu's opinion, even if her master was truly unreasonable, unable to distinguish right from wrong, he couldn't kill him. He couldn't use the battle spirit possession, but he still had a trump card, and it was the heavenly shaman Qiyu. He could summon Qiyu 3 times, and he'd only used it once before this. So much time had passed, and Qiyu had been supplied with so much energy, so he should have recovered by now. Even if he wasn't in his peak, it wouldn't be too difficult for him to deal with a woman at the 4th step of the Exalt realm. Even if your master comes, he might not believe your one-sided story. Said Yang Hanwu. Besides, although your formation is powerful, it's not impossible to break. That's right. Eldest senior sister, I forgot to tell you. Junior brother Yang's attainments and formations are actually much higher than mine. Junior brother Yang is now a 7th grade array grandmaster. Even master's attainments and formations may not be comparable to junior brother Yang's, said Gao Qingqing. 7th grade array grandmaster? Humph, do you think I'll believe that? Gu Shaoxian revealed a mocking expression. Although this man gave her a very dangerous feeling, she absolutely wouldn't believe that he was a 7th grade array grandmaster. You don't believe me? Then watch me break your heavenly axis defensive formation. Yang Hongwu chuckled. Although the heavenly axis defensive formation was extremely powerful and profound, it wasn't difficult for him to break it. He only needed a few formation breaking pills. Of course, they were 7th grade formation breaking pills. Ordinary formation breaking pills couldn't be broken without reaching the 7th grade. After all, this heavenly axis defensive formation wasn't an ordinary formation. Break the formation? Alright, I'll wait. If you can break the formation, I'll do whatever you want me to do. From today onwards, I'll be your slave. When Gu Shaoxian heard this, she did not put it in her eyes. Even her master would not be able to break this formation without a few days and nights. He was just a little kid. Although he gave her a very dangerous feeling, she was very confident in the formation. It would be a miracle if he could break her formation. Alright, it's a deal. Yang Hongwu smiled. She was digging her own grave. It was just a simple formation. It was easy to break it. Watch. Yang Hanwu raised his right hand and shot out pills. They were all formation breaking pills, 6th grade formation breaking pills. There was also a 7th grade formation breaking pill. This 7th grade formation breaking pill was used to break the formation core. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. As the pills flew out, Yang Hanwu continuously formed seals. These were the seals to break the formation and activate the formation breaking pill. When using the formation breaking pill to break a high-level array formation, especially one that was complemented by an array disk, it would require the cooperation of a seal. After the formation breaking pill was shot out, rays of light appeared around the heavenly axis defensive formation. The formation core was especially dazzling. Kacha. After a dozen or so breaths of time, the entire space lit up and specks of stars appeared. That was the sound of the formation breaking. Seeing this, Gu Xiaoshuan's eyes widened. She couldn't believe it and shouted, "Impossible! This is absolutely impossible! Nothing is impossible! This is the truth! Your formation may be powerful, but it can't withstand a single blow from me. I can break it easily." Yang Hanwu reached out and grabbed Gu Xiaoshuan's formation disk. Yang Hanwu grabbed it and it landed in his hand. The heavenly axis defensive formation was broken. In just a few dozen breaths of time, he had broken through it. The pride in Gu Xiaoshuan's heart disappeared. It was as if she had lost her soul. "I've lost. I've lost," Gu Xiaoxian muttered. The other female disciples hurriedly supported Gu Xiaoxian. They looked at Yang Hanwu in shock and fear as they retreated step by step. "Stop right there." Yang Hanwu looked at them and said coldly. When the girls heard Yang Hanwu's voice, their bodies trembled. They stood there and didn't dare to move. This man is too terrifying. What's his cultivation? What's his realm? That's a 7th grade formation. It's the legendary heavenly axis defensive formation. It was broken in just a dozen breaths. It was so easy. Even a supremacy wouldn't be able to do it. He's not human. He's a monster. He's definitely a monster. Chapter 569. Another purine immortal body. You. What do you want? A female disciple looked at Yang Hanwu and stammered, Our master is about to arrive. If you want to do anything to us, no harm to us, our master will beat you to death. Don't worry, I'm not interested in you. However, if you leave now, you'll die. Yang Hanwu pointed to the distance. There were people coming. It was the Bone Devil race. Not good. That's the devil race. There are so many devil race people. We're surrounded. What should we do? Big senior sister, quick, what should we do? The devil race people are coming. At this time, the female disciple kept shaking Gu Xiaoshuan's arm. Huff. Yang Hanwu used the mind-refining Heart Sutra's awakening curse to wake Gu Xiaoxian up. I lost. After Gu Xiaoxian woke up, she looked at Yang Hanwu and said, I'll be your slave from now on. Saying that, Gu Xiaoxian bit the tip of her tongue and spat out a mouthful of blood. She made a seal and that seal entered Yang Hanwu's palm. When Yang Hanwu saw Gu Xiaoshuan's actions, he was stunned. He never thought that Gu Xiaoxian would actually do what she said. Before he could refuse, she had already signed the slave contract. She became Yang Hanwu's slave. It was a life and death slave. There was no way to get rid of it. Gao Qingqing was also stunned. She never thought that Gu Xiaoxian would do such a crazy thing. Why did you do this? Yang Hanwu sighed. Master. Gu Xiaoxian respectfully said to Yang Hanwu, what orders do you have for me? At this point, even if you wanted to change it, there was no way. Yang Hanwu said, don't call me master. I'll become a disciple of Tianyi Immortal Mansion anyway. Just call me junior brother Yang. Yes, master. Gu Xiaoxian respectfully said. This situation made the female disciples with Gu Xiaoxian a little dumbfounded. This change was too sudden. In an instant, his eldest senior sister had become someone else's slave. This was too shocking and hard to accept. Eldest senior sister, how did you, say no more, junior sister Lu. I'm willing to do this, and I deserve it. Gu Shaoxian said in a flat tone. It was hard to believe that this was the eldest senior sister of the heavenly spirit peak, Gu Shaoxian, who had just gone crazy. This change was simply too shocking. Let's put everything else aside for now and work together to avoid this calamity. Yang Hongwu's face darkened as he looked at the group of Bone Devil clansmen charging towards them. This group of Bone Devil clansmen shouldn't be from the Bone Men village, but from outside. Mao Er had already discovered them. If it wasn't for Mao Er, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have discovered them so early. There were two extremely powerful Bone Devil clansmen in this group. One was a 4th step venerable, the other was a 3rd step venerable. These two should be elders of the Bone Devil clan. As for the 4th step venerable, he wasn't very old. He was very young. His entire body was emitting the aura of a superior. This Bone Devil clansman's origin wasn't simple. According to the records, the Bone Devil clan wasn't just a single clan. This group of Bone Devil clansmen shouldn't be from the original clan of the Bone Men village, but from another clan. Master, we can set up a formation. These Bone Devil clansmen are numerous and very strong. If we fight them head-on, we won't be their match. So, we can only set up a formation to deal with them. Hopefully, we can stall for time until Master and the others come to our rescue. Gu Shaoxian said at this moment. Yang Hongwu nodded. Alright, then let's do that. You set up the Heavenly Spiral defensive formation, and I'll set up another formation. Gu Shaoxian nodded and took the formation disc of the Heavenly Spiral defensive formation from Yang Hongwu. She began to set up the formation. Gu Shaoxian had been injured when the formation was broken, but fortunately, Yang Hongwu had enough pills. These pills weren't of much help to Yang Hongwu, but they had an astonishing effect on Gu Shaoxian. Gu Shaoxian quickly recovered after receiving the pills, and even showed signs of a breakthrough. Even Gu Shaoxian herself was very surprised. It seemed that after signing the slave contract with Yang Hongwu, she felt her cultivation speed was much faster than before. Many things that she didn't understand and couldn't comprehend in the past suddenly became clear. At first, Gu Shaoxian thought that this was an illusion. However, when she began to set up the formation, she realized that her speed of setting up the formation was much faster than before. Moreover, many of the details were more precise and better than before. If she was only a late-stage Grade 6 Array Master before, then she was definitely at the peak of Grade 6 Array Master now. There was a faint possibility that she could break through to Grade 7 Array Master. Was it because of this man? Signing a contract with him, and a slave contract at that, actually brought about such great benefits? What exactly was his background? Could it be? Could he be the legendary person with great luck? It was rumored that when there was a great disaster in the world, some super geniuses would appear. These super geniuses were favored by the heavens. They were people with great luck and became the Sons of Fate. Anyone who went against the Sons of Fate didn't have a good ending. Those who befriended the Sons of Fate would all become dragons among men. Even if their talents weren't great at first, they would continue to grow, improve, and transform in the future. Wasn't she in such a situation now? Otherwise, how could she suddenly seem to have been enlightened? Many things that she didn't understand were now clear to her. The bottleneck that hadn't loosened for a long time was starting to loosen. As long as she was given some time, she was confident that she could break through. She still didn't understand her master's background. However, she knew that she couldn't be separated from this man for the rest of her life. Thinking of this, Gu Shaoxuan's face actually became a little hot. She seemed to feel a little shy. This made her very surprised. Hadn't she always liked Tian Shinjiu in the past? Why didn't she have any feelings for Tian Shinjiu at this time? Instead, she had a special feeling for this unfamiliar master in front of her. As for what this special feeling was, she couldn't pinpoint it specifically. That's right, attraction. This unfamiliar master gave her a kind of indescribable attraction. It was as if there was a kind of powerful magic that made her unable to shift her eyes away. She had the impulse of a moth flying into a flame. Chapter 570. Bone Devil Crown Prince. After Yan Hanwu finished setting up the formation, Bao said to Yan Hanwu in his divine abode, "You're really lucky. I didn't expect you to meet a purine immortal body so casually and make her your slave." "You said Gu Shaoxian has a purine immortal body?" Yan Hanwu asked in disbelief, his eyes wide open. "Are you kidding me? If Gu Shaoxian had a purine immortal body, how could he not feel anything? When have I ever joked with you?" Bao said. "She has a special purine immortal body. It won't be activated under normal circumstances. It will only be activated when she combines with a purine immortal body. If she can't combine with a purine immortal body, she will never be able to trigger the transformation." "What kind of immortal body is it?" Yan Hanwu was surprised. Was there such a special purine immortal body in this world? If she really did have a purine immortal body, it would save him a lot of trouble. At least, he wouldn't have to worry about her body exploding and dying after a year. 9 Concealment Spiritual Formation Immortal Body. 9 Concealment Spiritual Formation Immortal Body? That's a strange name, Yan Hanwu said. Did you notice that the formation she set up earlier was much better and faster than before she signed the contract with you? Did you notice that she showed signs of breaking through to the 7th grade formation master? Bao continued, "That's what makes the 9 Concealment Spirit Array Immortal Physique special. Because you have a purine immortal physique, she signed a contract with you and absorbed your purine energy, which stimulated her purine immortal physique. Thus, her talent in array formations was revealed. That's why there were signs of a breakthrough. If she were to practice dual cultivation with you, not only would she be able to break through to become a 7th grade array formation master, she would also be able to improve her cultivation level. In less than a year, she would be able to break through to the supremacy realm." Break through to the venerable realm in a year? Yang Hongwu's eyes widened. 1 year. Gu Xiaoshuan's current cultivation was only at the 4th level of the divine realm. Breaking through to the venerable realm in 1 year, what kind of concept was that? Even Yang Hanwu himself wasn't confident that he could break through from the 3rd level of the Dao platform realm to the God realm within a year. After all, breaking through from the 3rd level of the Dao platform realm to the 1st level of the deity realm was much easier than breaking through from the 4th level of the deity realm to the 1st level of the exalt realm. Yang Hanwu also hoped that his cultivation could advance by leaps and bounds in a short period of time, especially now that he was facing a great enemy. Zetian. The current Zetian had a terrifying cultivation base. Only by using the battle spirit possession would he be able to defeat Zetian. However, if he wanted to kill Zetian, it would not be so easy. Furthermore, as he progressed, so did Zetian. Ever since Yang Hanwu found out that Zetian's true body was the terrifying Great Devil sealed in the Earth Spirit Palace, he had been extremely depressed. The pressure was too great. However, with pressure came motivation. There was no doubt about it. "You don't have to belittle yourself," Bao said, "your identity is very special. I think it's not as simple as the 9 Dragons' sacred body. You haven't shown your true physique yet. The 9 Dragons' sacred body is just a superficial disguise." Yang Hanwu was even more surprised than before. "My identity is special? Did she know that I'm not from this world? Did she know that I'm from Earth? That's not right. If she knew, she didn't have to be so secretive. Why didn't she just tell me directly? If that's not the case, then she must be talking about my battle physique. The 9 Dragons' sacred body is just a superficial disguise?" This puzzled Yang Hanwu. If it wasn't for the 9 Dragons' pearl that transformed his body, he would still be a cripple now. Perhaps he would have died in the hands of that devil. How could he be the current him? "I don't understand what you're saying." "What do you mean?" "It doesn't matter if you don't understand now. You'll understand in the future." Now, you're in trouble. These two bone demon experts are not simple. I'm afraid they won't be easy to deal with. Bauer's voice fell silent and he didn't say anything else. Yang Hanwu was already used to Bauer's sudden appearance and disappearance, so he wasn't surprised at all. However, when she said that these two bone demon experts were not simple and wouldn't be easy to deal with, there must be a hidden meaning in her words. Bauer never said anything useless. Since he said it, there must be a reason. However, there was nothing special about these two bone demon experts except that one of them looked very young. Could it be that there was some kind of mystery behind this? Or perhaps, these two were from the Bone Devil race? Or perhaps, these two people had some kind of powerful treasure that could break through his formation? No matter which one it was, as long as he could deal with whatever came his way, he would deal with it as he saw it. After dozens of breaths, this group of bone demons arrived in front of the formation set up by Yang Hanwu and the others. Crown Prince, there is a formation here. It doesn't look simple. It should have been set up by the humans we saw just now. I'm afraid they discovered our whereabouts and set up a formation in advance to avoid us, said the older Bone Devil race expert to the younger Bone Devil race expert. Yes. Gu Jinsha nodded. There should be someone among these humans with a combat physique that can enhance their eyesight. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to discover us in advance. However, they are too naive if they think they can avoid me with a mere formation. A murderous glint flashed in his eyes as he said coldly, "Formation team, break the formation for me." "Yes, Your Highness." A small team of bone demons appeared immediately. All of them were formation masters, and all of them were 6th grade formation masters. These formation masters worked together. One person would study one part of the formation while the other would study another part. However, they weren't completely separated. Instead, they complemented each other. In their hands, they also had a treasure that could break formations. The formation searching Sinan was a treasure that could find the formation eye and the formation heart of a formation. This kind of treasure was very rare. It could only be made with the formation heart left behind by a formation master of 7th grade or above. It was very rare. There were a total of 10 people in this team, and each of them had a formation searching compass. How could Yang Hanwu not be shocked? Even Yang Hanwu himself hadn't obtained a formation searching compass. Although the formation searching compass was dispensable to Yang Hanwu, it could be used to break the formation. In the face of an array, he could just use the formation breaking pill to break it. If the formation breaking pill couldn't break it, then even the formation seeking compass would be useless. Chapter 571. The use of pure Yanai. Damn it. Why are there so many formation masters in the Bone Devil clan? Moreover, each of them has a formation-seeking compass. Gu Xiaoshuan's face darkened when she saw these formation masters breaking the formation in an orderly manner. Although her formation skills had improved, and the heaven-revolving defensive formation she had set up was definitely a 7th-level formation, which was very difficult for ordinary formation masters to break. However, there were so many formation masters here. Moreover, they were 6th-level formation masters. If they were only 6th-level formation masters, she was confident that this formation wouldn't be broken. However, she didn't expect that each of these guys had a formation-seeking Sinan in their hands. Her array formation probably wouldn't be able to hold out for long before it was broken. Junior brother Yang, all of their array masters have array-seeking principles. I'm afraid my spirit array won't be able to resist for long. Do you have any other methods? Gu Xiaoxian asked Yang Hanwu. Don't worry. Yang Hanwu said calmly. It will take some time to break the formation. During this time, we can make some arrangements. Perhaps there will be an unexpected solution. In fact, Yang Hanwu was also depressed. Although he was a 7th grade formation master, he was speechless when he encountered such a group of formation masters. It's a little slow. Tell them to hurry up. After a few breaths, the formation still hadn't been broken. Gu Zhensha frowned and was somewhat dissatisfied. Hurry up. Did you hear that? We don't have so much time to waste here. You are all formation masters that our emperor has spent a huge amount of resources to cultivate. Moreover, you have a formation-seeking compass. It's just a formation, yet you still haven't broken it after so long. Useless. Gu Xingcai scolded loudly. Formation masters were high and mighty existences among the human cultivators. Even fourth-step venerables wouldn't easily offend a formation master, let alone scold them. However, this guy didn't put these formation masters in his eyes at all. This made Yang Hanwu a little surprised. He heard the elder call the young Bone Devil clan's crown prince. Could it be that this young expert was actually the crown prince of the Bone Devil clan? His strength and trump cards were powerful, and his status was extremely high. Crown Prince, Bone Devil race's crown prince. It seemed that this fellow was from the Bone Devil race's royal family. The Bone Devil race once had a powerful empire called the Bone Devil Holy Empire. The Bone Devil Emperor of the Bone Devil Holy Empire was extremely powerful. It was rumored that he was a venerable realm expert, but he suppressed his cultivation. His physical body was inconceivably tough, comparable to a top-grade demonic tool. Your Highness, please forgive us. This formation isn't simple. The formation we're looking at right now is called the Sky Revolving Defensive Formation. It's the strongest formation amongst all defensive formations. It's a level 7 formation. The strength of the person who set it up isn't to be underestimated. I reckon that he's already on the verge of becoming a level 7 formation master. In addition, he possesses a powerful formation disc. Therefore, it'll take some time to break this formation. In addition, there's another formation within this Sky Revolving Defensive Formation. I can faintly sense that the formation embedded within is even more powerful than the one outside. The person who set it up is a genius. His attainments in formations are unparalleled. If your Highness can subdue that person, it'll be of great benefit to us when we attack the ancient domain in the future, said a short and thin formation master. Sky Revolving Defensive Formation, a formation within a formation, a formation embedded within a formation, a formation embedded within a formation, a super genius in the Tao of formations. The Bone Devil Crown Prince narrowed his eyes. You mean to say that breaking this formation isn't something that can be done in a short time? It'll take time? Yes, Your Highness. How long will it take? Will 2 hours be enough? Asked Gu Zhensha calmly as he knocked on a large rock. Your Highness, I'm afraid it won't be enough. 2 hours will be enough to break the Sky Revolving Defensive Formation outside, but the formation inside will take at least 6 hours. 6 hours is too long. I can't wait that long. Bone Joel Kill took a deep breath and flicked his finger, turning the boulder into powder. Use the Troll Crystal Cannon. When Yang Hanwu heard the words Devil Crystal Cannon, he finally understood why Scherbauer had said that he was in trouble, and that the trouble wouldn't be small. They actually had a Devil Crystal Cannon. This thing was equivalent to a nuclear weapon on Earth. Once it was used, its power would be absolutely devastating. The might of a Devil Crystal Cannon was terrifying. A single shell was enough to destroy a city. Although the formation he had set up was astonishing, it would still be difficult for it to withstand the terrifying attack of a Devil Crystal Cannon. Junior brother Yang, we're in big trouble now. These bastards actually have a Devil Crystal Cannon. Gao Qingqing panicked when she heard about the Devil Crystal Cannon. That was a Devil Crystal Cannon. No matter how powerful the formation was, it would still be destroyed in one shot. In the face of absolute power, everything was useless. Yang Hanwu also frowned. He couldn't think of a solution at the moment. If there's no other way, we can only force our way through the blockade, said Yang Hanwu. There was no way to withstand the Devil Crystal Cannon's bombardment, so they could only force their way out. If only we had the pure Yan Eye. At this moment, a female disciple from the Heavenly Spirit Peak muttered. This female disciple was the one who had stuttered and supported Gu Shaoxian. This female disciple's physique was rather special. She didn't know much about formations, but she liked to fiddle with strange things. Gao Qingqing also knew about this. Her name was Lu Wulian. It was rumored that she was a descendant of Great Emperor Lu Ban. Great Emperor Lu Ban cultivated the mechanism Grand Dao. His mechanism arts were unparalleled in the world. The mechanism beasts he created were extremely powerful and could contend against great emperors. Lu Wulian was very reckless and muddle-headed. She would often forget things when doing things. Everyone on the heavenly spirit peak called her little muddle-headed. What did you say? Yang Hanwu heard her words, grabbed her hand, and shouted. Ouch, you're hurting me. Little muddle-headed pouted and shouted in pain. I'm sorry, senior sister. I'm really sorry. I was too agitated because what you just said might affect everyone's safety. Yang Hanwu quickly let go of her hand and apologized. I'm not a senior sister. Everyone calls me Little Muddle-headed. You can call me that too. Little Miss Muddle rubbed her hands and smiled at Yang Hanwu. Like I said before, it would be great if we had pure Yang eyes, because pure Yang eyes can reverse the troll crystal cannons. In that case, the troll crystal cannons would have no effect on us and would instead hurt themselves. Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. Little Muddle-headed, are you serious? Chapter 572. Joint Formation. Little Miss Muddle, you really are our savior. Yang Hongwu laughed. He just so happened to have the pure Yang eye. He got it from the Bone Village. Savior? How did I become a savior? Little Miss Muddle was really muddle-headed. Little Miss Muddle, look. Is this the pure Yang eye you were talking about? Yang Hanwu took out the bead he got before. It really is the pure Yang eye. It's exactly the same as what was recorded in great-grandfather's notes. Little Miss Muddle looked at the pure Yang eye that Yang Hanwu handed over. Her eyes widened as she carefully took it. It's so warm and comfortable. Little Miss Muddle, with this pure Yang eye, do you have the confidence to reflect the Devil Crystal Cannon back? Yang Hanwu asked Little Miss Muddle. Although he had the pure Yang eye, he didn't know how to use it. He had to rely on Little Miss Muddle to control it. How to use it, I seem to have forgotten. Little Miss Muddle scratched her head in embarrassment. Originally, everyone was wild with joy. This time, not only could they be saved, they could also teach these Bone Devil clansmen a lesson. But they didn't expect Little Miss Muddle's words to be like a bucket of cold water that poured over everyone's heart. Little Miss Muddle, think carefully. We are counting on you to save our lives. The other Heavenly Spirit Peak female disciples said excitedly. Seeing everyone looking at her like this, Little Miss Muddle was so anxious that she was about to cry. Little Miss Muddle, don't be nervous. Think carefully. Yan Hanwu said. At this time, the giant magic crystal cannons had been set up outside the formation. The pitch-black muzzles made people tremble in fear. Hurry up, otherwise it will be too late. Gao Qingqing urged. Little Miss Muddle, quickly think carefully. No one wanted to die. Looking at the terrifying Devil Crystal Cannon, everyone felt a chill in their hearts. Ah, I remember now. Little Miss Muddle suddenly shouted. It's in great-grandfather's notes. I just need to take a look to know. Everyone was speechless. So she still had notes. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Everyone urged, hurry up, Little Muddle-head, take out the notes and see how to use them to reflect the attack of the Troll Crystal Cannon. Yeah. Little Miss Muddle nodded. This time, her movements were nimble and she didn't feel as muddle-headed as before. After a few breaths of time, Little Miss Confused said, I found it. It's very simple. Just use the pure Yang eye to set up a formation. Yes, this formation requires a grade 7 formation master to set up. It's called the Pure Yang Reversal Formation. Formation, a 7th grade formation, at this time, where would they find the time to set it up? Hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded. They originally thought that there was a glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel, but there was such a big twist. How could a 7th grade array be so easy to arrange? Little Miss Model, are there any other methods recorded in the notes? Gu Shaoxian looked at Little Miss Model and asked. There are, but I don't have the materials to make it now. Even if I have the materials, it will take at least a month. Little Miss Model said. Everyone rolled their eyes. It was the same as not having it. It was meaningless. A month would have already been blasted into dregs by the troll crystal cannon. Gu Xiaoshuan's junior sisters were desperate. Is there an array diagram? At this time, Yang Hanwu looked at Little Miss Model and asked. If there was an array diagram, they could still give it a try. Yes. Let me see. Yang Hanwu said. Well, here you are. Little Miss Model handed the notes to Yang Hanwu, but be careful not to break it. Don't worry, I won't break your notes. Yang Hanwu smiled. If it was someone else, at this time, they wouldn't have the mood to care about whether the notes were broken or not. No wonder they were called Little Miss Model. Yang Hanwu took the notes, opened it, and found that night. After reading it, Yang Hanwu memorized the pure yang reversal array, and then returned the notes to Little Miss Model. Senior sister Qingqing, Gu Shaoxian, you two set up the array with me. Yang Hanwu said to Gu Shaoxian and Gao Qingqing. Although the others were also array masters, they were too far behind and couldn't help at all. Originally, this array could be set up by one person, but in that case, the speed might not be able to keep up. Therefore, Yang Hanwu asked Gao Qingqing and Gu Shaoxian to help him set up the array. Gao Qingqing was responsible for some small details, and Gu Shaoxian could cooperate with him. Her battle physique was very special. If he gave her too much pure yang qi, it would allow her to improve greatly, complementing him. As for Yang Hanwu himself, of course, he was responsible for the overall arrangement of the entire array, including the array core. Outside the array, the troll crystal cannon was ready to fire. Time was tight, and it could be said that it was a desperate moment. Yang Hanwu was also anxious, and Gao Qingqing and the others were even more anxious. Hurry up, hurry up! The three of them quickly began to divide the work. Yang Hanwu deliberately injected a strand of pure yang qi into Gu Shaoxian. Yang Hongwu's action shocked Gu Shaoxian. He knew the situation. After that strand of qi entered her body, it made her cultivation circulate faster, and her understanding of array formations deepened. Only now did she truly confirm that the increase in her strength and understanding of array formations was due to her master, Yang Hanwu. She took a deep look at Yang Hanwu, and then began to set up the array. Her speed was very fast. Gao Qingqing saw that Gu Xiaoshuan's speed of setting up the array had increased again, and there were faint signs of a breakthrough. She was very shocked. What was going on with Gu Shaoxian? Originally, her strength had been stagnant for a long time. Ever since she entered the Tianyi Immortal Mansion and joined the Heavenly Spirit Peak, she didn't see any improvement in Gu Shaoxian. After meeting Yang Hanwu, there was a huge change and she became his slave. However, in this short period of time, her strength had increased so much. Although she had many doubts, this was not the time to ask. She began to focus on setting up the array. She couldn't even protect her own life, so how could she care about other things? First, she had to set up the array formation to block the attack of the troll crystal cannon. Time passed bit by bit. Outside the array, the ancient demon crown prince, Gu Zhensha, waved his hand and said, "Destroy the array in front of me." He waved his hand, and the huge demon crystal cannon's energy continued to condense. The mouth of the cannon formed a huge light. The light became more and more dazzling, and the surrounding space began to tremble. Hurry up, hurry up! At this time, Yang Hanwu and the others were almost done setting up the array. They just needed to activate it. The pure Yang in Yang Hongwu's hand rose into the air, and Yang Hanwu quickly formed seals. Boom! You're tuning into the Mythic Realms YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.